letting someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, if you thought booking your timeshare was difficult before, you know it's almost impossible now. For more than a decade, Lone Star Transfer has helped thousands of owners legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. For free, no-obligation consultation, please call 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Friday, so now the House committees investigating the Biden family finances have a formalized inquiry secured by a majority vote. That means that failure to cooperate with oversight and judiciary can incur substantial criminal penalties, including jail time. Hello, Hunter Biden, who brazenly defied a congressional subpoena on Wednesday. Now, Trump guy Steve Bannon did the same thing. The FBI arrested him. The Justice Department prosecuted. Bannon is appealing his 4-month prison sentence. Same thing happened to another Trump person, Peter Navarro, who's appealing as well. So, Attorney General Merrick Garland will have to charge the Hunter monster, correct? How can Garland dodge that? Well, if there's a way, old Merrick will find it. But there is a good chance that Hunter will wind up in a court of law. What a colossal embarrassment for the United States. The son of a sitting president disrespecting Congress, apparently with his father's approval. Joe Biden knew that his son was not going to honor the subpoena. Finally, not one House Democrat voted to explore exactly how tens of millions found its way to the Biden family. Not one. Back after this.
I'm Mike Baker, former CIA officer and your host for the President's Daily Brief, the fastest growing podcast in America. Every weekday, we dive into foreign policy, global events, and international crises, delivering the facts and context quickly and with the analysis you won't find anywhere else. In the morning, get the insights you need with the President's Daily Brief. Then, as you head home, catch the PDB Afternoon Bulletin, perfectly timed for your end-of-day commute. Download us now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Get briefed. Stay ahead with the President's Daily Brief.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom lovers. Good morning, Friday, freedom lovers. It's Friday, Ken.
Hey, you're excited. Did you get a little sleep last night?
Well, yes, but also, keep in mind now, I'm off on Monday.
Okay.
So 3-day weekend for me.
Well, I saw Mr. Larry Connors give you a nice, healthy drink last night, and I saw your response, and I thought maybe that would put you to sleep early last night.
No, you know what? I handled that pretty well, I got to say.
You did.
Let's take care of business here, and then we'll
Sure.
talk about that, because we had a great party here last night with some great food, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. First of all, Dr. Aaron Hedlund is waiting in the wings. Inflation data this week, Fed's decision on interest rates, which may be lowering interest rates. I didn't think that was going to happen. I don't know why what I think matters, because I don't know anything about that. And the economic outlook as we head into a new year, which is very, very close. So Dr. Hedlund will sort that all out for us. Larry Connors, who Ken just mentioned, who was at our party, of course, with us last night. And we'll wander into Mr. Connors' neighborhood, and we'll talk about that shot or whatever that was he gave me. That's whiskey, right?
Yeah, it's what he sponsored, I believe.
Man, it was good. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft at 9:41. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at RedState.com at 10:05. 10:25, Ken, we're going to talk about Donald Trump. You okay with that?
I'm good.
I thought you might be. We're going to hear some of his speech in Iowa, and we're going to talk about why he is smarter than people think he is. You don't become a billionaire by being an idiot, by the way.
Right.
Okay? And the wheel of audio clips at 10:41. Who is our Friday presenter of the Pledge of Allegiance, Ken Williams?
One of our lovely listeners, Nancy Mernon.
Oh, Nancy, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nancy.
It's Friday!
And it's Friday, according to Speaker Jones. Saw Speaker Jones last night. We had a fun time last night.
It was
really
fun,
did.
yeah.
All right, let's get going here. Dr. Aaron Hedlund, Chief Economist at the Show Me Institute. Good morning, Dr. Hedlund. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great. How about you?
Oh, kidding me? I got a 3-day weekend ahead of me, so I'm doing fantastic. And besides that, I have from the 23rd. Wait, let me pick up a calendar here.
Yeah. Now listen to this.
This is great. So Friday the 22nd, I'll be here. And then I'll be off from the 23rd to January 2nd. And I only had to take 4 days of PTO to do it.
How did you do that?
You would think it didn't add up. But the 23rd is a Saturday, right? So 23rd, 24th, 25th. 25th is Monday, it's Christmas. Then the 1, 2, 3, 4 PTO days, then another weekend. And then January 1st is a holiday.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Piece of cake. All right. Are you sorry you asked how I was, Dr. Hedlund?
No, it sounds like hashtag winning to me.
Exactly right.
Hashtag winning.
Hashtag winning. All right, let's take these one at a time. We're going to talk about inflation data, interest rates, and the outlook. Let's start with the inflation data. I heard a guy, I'm trying to think. Oh, Bongino played a guy yesterday who was on MSNBC saying people should stop picking on Joe Biden for the inflation and everything. Deflation's a bad thing anyway. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So what about inflation, Dr. Hedlund?
So inflation is still not 2%. 2% is what the Fed is targeting, and 2%, and actually a little bit lower than that, is what people had been accustomed to up until 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're looking at is inflation is, depending on the measure, either 3.1% or the more stable measure that's probably more important is still 4. So basically inflation is twice what it needs to be. It's much lower than it was. And of course, cumulatively, over the past few years, prices have gone up by about 18%. So people are still feeling it.
Absolutely feeling it. And I think the best measure for some reason to me is the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store and get everything you need and put it in the cart and then have to make that decision of, okay, well, what should we put back? Because this was much more expensive than it was when Donald Trump was president, you know?
Absolutely. And basically everything's more expensive than back then. And if you look at kind of people's purchasing power overall, it's fallen by thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So paychecks are smaller, which is why people aren't happy.
And, you know, Joe Biden will say, but, you know, wages are going up. Are wages going up? Because my wages ain't going up. Ken, your wages going up?
No.
Okay.
Well, put it this way. This past month, which was a supposedly really good month, showed that wages, once you adjust for inflation, did go up by 0.1%.
Man, I'm going to buy myself a new car with that money.
Absolutely.
All right, we're talking to Dr. Aaron Hedlund, Chief Economist at the Show Me Institute. What about interest rates? I mean, you know, they bumped up the interest rates to fight off a recession, and then people couldn't get mortgages because it was too expensive, cars because it was too expensive. So might those interest rates come down early 2024?
Yeah, so they bumped up the rates really to stem inflation. And so to the extent that inflation's been coming down, it's the White House can't claim credit, Congress can't claim credit. This is really the Fed's kind of painful medicine, which is making it very difficult to buy a house. And what they forecasted is that in 2024, they're likely to start cutting the rate back down a little bit. We're not talking about anything humongous. I mean, it's probably about 0.75 percentage point, which matters, but it's not huge. And the other thing is it still depends. Right? If inflation does not keep going towards 2%, then they're not going to cut. So it really depends on how things play out.
Dr. Hedlund, you mentioned and referenced job creation, and last month you said job numbers went up. in those job numbers, weren't there a lot of like government jobs that were added, and in addition, many second jobs and part-time jobs for people? So the actual full-time job numbers weren't as high as they were touting, right?
Right, and even the top line numbers weren't really that huge. It was 199,000, which, especially since we have a larger population than a few years ago, it's not bad, but it's definitely nothing to write home about.
Right.
But the other thing is, about 50,000 of those were government jobs. And if you look at manufacturing, the actual net increase was negative. Like, it showed an increase, but that was just people coming back from the strikes. If you subtract that out, it was actually a decrease. So the jobs data, it's not bad, but really the jobs data also is a lagging indicator.
Well, now that's funny you say that, because Joe Biden recently was touting how he's helping to create all these manufacturing jobs, so that doesn't really fit.
It doesn't.
Shocking.
All right. So finally, an overall economic outlook for next year. What can we expect?
I think we're definitely going to see a slowdown in the economy. I don't know if we're going to go into recession territory now, but we're going to see a slowdown because right now the one thing that's sort of buoying the economy is consumer spending. But people have blown through basically the rest of all that government money that they had saved up. So that's gone.
Yeah.
And if you look, and credit card debt is now at a record high. It's over $1 trillion. And credit card delinquencies are rising at the fastest pace in a decade. So I think the consumers are going to pull back, and that's going to slow down the economy.
Yeah, it's not good. All right, Dr. Aaron Hedlund, Chief Economist at the Show Me Institute. Thank you so much. showme.org. Did I get that right? No, I didn't get that right.
ShowMeInstitute.org.
Damn it. All right, great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Have a great Christmas.
You too.
So, Ken.
Yeah, Vic.
You know, I'm sure there are people who think we're stupid, you and me, because, we make up these silly words like Edstoit,
That's just being fun.
But it's also true.
Very true.
You just pointed it out.
Yeah.
Joe Biden says, oh, job numbers are up. Oh, my gosh, look, inflation's, oh, my
Anything
God.
they say, I know, is complete opposite.
Jim Brewer, thank you very much. But we're right. That's the thing. We may be stupid, but we're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had our party last night, our Christmas party, here at the station, which I thought was kind of cool because it's a brand new station. Our spouses and our families haven't seen the place yet,
Right.
Jessica and I came up here on a Saturday early on, and we didn't even really get to go in and look at anything. But she was like, wow, this place is great.
Yeah, we came up with I came up with Caddy and the girls, and we just walked around outside. We couldn't get in here.
Exactly.
But, just looking around, they were like, well, this is kind of cozy.
Yeah. Caddy and Jessica were having a great time.
Yeah, they were.
Listening to my wife talk, which is fun, isn't it?
Oh, it's
listening to her talk?
Yes. Now you talk about a smart person.
Yeah. Oh, God, please. I don't know. I do not know how she ended up with me, but whatever.
Oh, what's funny is she's one of those people that is very, very intelligent, but never would lead on to that.
Right.
Like I'm so smart, know, and in conversation, you would never feel that.
Like
from
people
her.
that always have to give their qualifications while they're talking on the radio.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, okay, so many things to talk about. So we got to get together. It was great. It's great to see Larry Connors. It was great to see, Speaker Jones and Chris Arps, who we never get to see. Well, I never get to see.
No, I don't either. I see sometimes, but not often.
So, and I just love them both. And so Larry Connors has a new client, a new whiskey client.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, hey, let's have a drink. Let's have a shot of this stuff. I was like, no, I don't think so. So, of course, he brings it anyway.
Well, yeah.
I haven't shot a drink in a long time.
I could tell.
So I took a drink of this stuff, and there were flames going down my throat. But it actually was pretty good.
Well, at first you were like, "Oh, this is really hot," and then you calmed down. You're like, "Oh, okay."
I'll finish it.
The flavor, I think, probably pulled you back in.
Absolutely. The food last night was fantastic.
Stefanina's.
They we always say Steph's Pizza, but they're not a one-trick pony, man. They got great, that macaroni dish. Oh. I brought a little container home with last night.
No, here's what happened here.
Uh-oh.
They were actually handing out a few packages because they had some left over, and they didn't want it to go to waste.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, you want some?" Can I go? Yeah. And they said they gave me a complete container.
Yeah.
And they gave you a complete container the same size.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going.
As we're walking out, Vic said, "Here, can you hold this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I picked his up. I'm like, "This thing's twice as heavy as mine." So I kind of flipped him. And I handed it back to Vic, and he looked at me, and I go, yeah.
Wait a minute. That's not what you did. That's not what you did. I'll tell you what you did.
Okay.
You took both of them.
Yeah.
You had mine on the bottom.
Right.
No, mine on the top and yours on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you were dealing from the bottom of the deck. I saw you pull the bottom one out and give it to me. I'm like, wait a minute.
It was lighter.
Are you base dealing or what? You caught a hanger. Jersey, you know what I mean? That means Jersey Rounders, movie Rounders.
I got to watch it, man. You refer to it, and I don't know what you're talking
Worm is a cheat. So he can deal from the bottom of the deck, and he can give you exactly what he wants to give you and gives himself exactly what he wants to give himself.
Oh, okay.
And one of the cops catches him, grabs his hand, and goes, hey, he's base dealing. He's dealing from the bottom of the deck. And then they beat him up and everything. So Steph's Pizza, while we're talking about it, is the sponsor of our Porcelli Weekend show that we do. And every Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and Sundays at 10 o'clock in the morning, we take 3 segments. Ken and I talk about, well, what segments should we put on Saturday? We try to pick the best segments and put them all together. So tomorrow, this is our lineup, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong anywhere, okay?
Yeah, I have to do a little working on it because they're long. You know, it's gonna pack it in really tightly into that hour.
But were the 3 we talked about?
Yes.
Okay. So Lara Logan, who messaged me again last night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we're dating.
No.
I'm pretty sure. Lara Logan. Then we had Jake Lang, who is still in prison for 3 years, 20 hours a day in solitary.
Yeah. Did he text you? Are you dating?
Me and Jake?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you?
No.
Okay. And Owen Schroyer, who spent, I forget what it was, a few months in jail, but still he was in jail. You know, he said they could take a shower like twice a week, and that was it. And but he's out now. And by the way, Owen is a St. Louis kid.
Yeah.
He went to CBC, right? Works for Alex Jones now. And so that's going to be the 3 segments tomorrow.
Boom.
Bang, bang show, man. It's a bang, bang hour of radio.
And it's to talk about primarily the J6 political prisoners. That's what they're called. And it was a political protest, not an insurrection on January 6, 2021.
And Lara Logan's interview was all about J6, too.
Yeah.
So it's good to be, I'm sorry, terrible. Let me start that again. It's good to have somebody like Lara Logan pitching your case when you're one of these J6 prisoners.
Yes.
Because, like Ken says, it was not an insurrection. It was a protest. I specifically asked both of those guys, by the way. I asked Owen and I asked Jake, did you go to the Capitol on January 6th to commit violence? And did you commit any violence? And they both said no on each.
Right.
The whole narrative, and we let that whole narrative go. And the way the Democrats, and I add Kinzinger and Cheney as Democrats in there, even though they do officially have an R by their name, were so dishonest during that J6 committee. The things they didn't show, the things they didn't say, the hours and hours of video, Ken, that they didn't release to the public.
Yeah.
They didn't release a lot of stuff that would have exonerated Trump and everybody that was there.
And included in that audio, that video, included in that, you had bullets being shot into a docile crowd, okay? You had tear gas being thrown into a docile crowd, angering them on purpose, trying to get them riled up to where they were actually getting violent.
Yeah.
But they weren't getting violent because of, let's charge the Capitol. They were getting violent because the police or whoever those people were, I don't even want to say they were police altogether. They were shooting these rubber bullets at people and injuring them and then shooting gas pellets or whatever they were in there.
No, you're talking about the Capitol Police.
Yeah.
Because the D.C. Metropolitan Police were set up like anybody else was set up there. They didn't know any of that stuff was happening. And they're on film on the Lara Logan thing saying, we got set up. He goes, we got set up.
Yep.
So I urge you to watch the Lara Logan specials. You can find that on Truth and Media or go right to Lara's Twitter page and tell her we said hi, okay? Wheel of Audio Clips closes us up today at 10:41. I got to stop saying closes us up because this doesn't come out right. 10:25 is our Donald John Trump break. 10:05, Smoozy Q, Deputy Managing Editor of RedState.com. Susie Moore, she was at our party last night. Jay Ashcroft, our State Secretary of State, another stupid thing to say, sorry. Missouri Secretary of State, Jay Ashcroft at 9:41. And coming up, the guy who threw a couple of shots of whiskey down my throat last night.
Yeah.
Larry Connors on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home!
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Most Americans are a $400 unexpected expense away from bankruptcy.
That's Bidenomics in action.
How dare you?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Okay, Connor Roofing are our great friends, and they, you know what? They're great people, and they want me to sit here and tell you how good they are at what they do, right? They've been doing it for 30 years. Their customer service isn't even a strong enough word. But also, they came in a couple of weeks ago, or just about a week ago, and we recorded some stuff for them that you're probably hearing around the day. And you know what they're saying? You know what? Donate your time. Donate your money a little bit this Christmas season. Go to an animal shelter. They're big on the animal shelters. And, you know, people who can volunteer at soup kitchens and things like that. And I thought that was really classy of them.
Yeah, and Kathy promised that she might bring some bunch of dogs in for the charity. Eventually, I know. It'd be great.
I mean, we got to clear that, of course.
Well, of course.
That's all I need to do. Yeah. Who brought these dogs in here?
Right.
Larry brought them in.
Larry
It's
did.
Larry's fault. Go to ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
News, analysis,
I'm glad you're talking about this.
opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it, too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL. Get charged up on the truth. Power Punch with Larry Behrens.
Everyone's talking about the $6 billion Joe Biden sent to Iran just about a month ago. As well they should be. But did you know he has opened up the money flow to Tehran for well over a year? He doesn't want to talk about it, but we will.
Power Punch with Larry Behrens. Saturday afternoons at 4 on News Talk STL.
Get more Power Punch at powertofuture.com.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote and accelerate the development of quality Christ-centered K-12 education.
Hi, this is Daryl Jones, president of the Herzog Foundation. We have an exciting new training opportunity available for public school and Christian school teachers. The Herzog Foundation Institute has partnered with the Bill of Rights Institute to offer 4 training events in 4 Missouri cities this year. These day-long professional development opportunities are best suited for middle and high school civics, government, U.S. history, and social studies teachers. Middle and high school teachers have a unique opportunity to strengthen civic knowledge and values for the next generation. We want to help teachers seize this opportunity.
Visit herzogfoundation.com/events to learn more and register for a Bill of Rights Institute training event near you. herzogfoundation.com/events. herzogfoundation.com/events.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Everybody has a right to have their opinion and voice their opinion.
Live and local.
I always approach it from this standpoint. Leftist malfeasance is presupposed.
This is News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
On News Talk STL.
You're damn right, Mr. President. All right, welcome home. Real quick, before you fade that out, Ken. Whole Lot of Love from Led Zeppelin, from Led Zeppelin 2.
Yeah.
I like Led Zeppelin. Love Led Zeppelin, okay? But some of the things they did were just not right, okay? They did this song, put their names for song credit, right? 1954, Muddy Waters did this song.
Really?
Yeah.
Written by Willie Dixon. And the song's called You Need Love. but the lyrics are exactly the same. And they settled out of court with Willie Dixon. So what does that tell you?
I did not know that.
A lot of black musicians had their music taken from them. Elvis Presley, I mean.
Bill Haley.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Big Joe Turner did that.
Yeah.
So dirty. The song was so sexual and so dirty. And, Bill Haley ripped him off, too. All right, enough of that.
Well, real quick, we played Mama Thornton, Nothing But a Hound Dog.
Yeah.
And her version is so much better than Presley.
I agree.
Yeah.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Hey, gentlemen, we need to get into Mr.
Oh,
Connor's neighborhood
God.
first.
He's up my ass all the time. Go ahead. How can we not do this? We got to do this. I blame him, though.
St. Louis, it's Mr. Connor's neighborhood.
Yes, it is. All right, you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy now.
Yeah, we broke into the house earlier, didn't we?
You did.
So, listen, it was great to see you last night at the party.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you watch Vic sipping some of the
I was
Stolock
standing
whiskey?
right there. Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. That's pretty nice and smooth, and you took it very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We were talking, and I'm looking over, and I see Larry walking up with two glasses, and I'm looking at Vic. He's like, his eyes were wide. Uh-oh.
I said, which one do you want? He said, are they the same? He said, they're both Stolock. One's more than the other. He took the lesser.
Of course I did.
Good, because that was all I was going to give him anyway.
I mean, I don't shoot whiskey very well. I
didn't tell you to shoot it. Just sip it. Enjoy it. It's great whiskey.
Well, you didn't say that when you gave it to me.
He didn't want to say it. He wanted to see you just chuck it down.
There were flames going down my throat.
It's more mellow than that.
But then it was, well, no. I'm sure for somebody who's an avid whiskey drinker. I'm not an avid whiskey drinker.
Yeah, I know.
We found that out, didn't we, Larry?
I don't know how we got you out of the chair. I thought we had to push the chair out to his car.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But we didn't let him drive,
No, he didn't drive.
You were not driving, so we weren't worried about you.
I have a request. Why don't you both shut up? That's my request. No, really.
Right,
but it really was good. Now, tell me the name of the whiskey again.
Stolock.
Stolock Whiskey. They're an advertiser on the great Larry Connor's USA show.
Stone Ledge Distillery. Mark Sutherland runs that, and been glad to have them on board.
I love it. I love the relationship you have with them. Okay, so.
Yes.
Hunter Biden, right?
Uh-huh.
When he did his little speech on the Capitol steps a couple of days ago.
Mea culpa, no.
I thought of it when I watched him. Right. No, it wasn't.
No,
right. You're right.
not.
So when I watched him, I thought I was right on it, but I didn't want to say anything because I hate to be wrong. And plus, I just want to, there's smarter people than me around the country who can figure this stuff out. But he said, my father was never financially
involved. Key phrase.
Financially involved.
Means he never contributed. And I believe that. He never put money into it.
Yeah.
He took money out of it, I believe. But
right.
And the other thing he said, truthful, my father had nothing to do with my paintings. I agree with that's probably true, too. He didn't pick up a brush or put his thumbprint down or anything.
But the thing is, we have to look at everything of what's going on here. The New York Times said they were quoting Hunter Biden, and they said that Hunter said, my father was never, they left out financially.
Really?
Yeah, in the sentence.
That's how the
Say
Times
the sentence
treated it?
again. What did he say? My father was never
financially involved.
Right, so they left out financially. My father was never involved in my business dealings. Crooked, Larry.
That's, it's changed from he had nothing to do with it, then limited or whatever.
Phone calls about the weather.
I can't even follow all the rabbit holes they've been down.
Yeah.
I've got Hans Spankowski scheduled today.
Oh, he's great.
And we're going to get into that specific and the fact that he ignored the subpoena and they went out and arrested, brought in Bannon and one of the other Trumpers during the investigation subpoena they issued on
Navarro, Peter Navarro.
Navarro, that's right. Thank you.
They arrested him at the airport.
I know.
Publicly to humiliate him.
Yeah.
And Hunter, nothing.
So far.
Well, what do you think's going to happen? You say so far. What's going to happen?
Well, it's one of my favorite phrases to say so far. But there's going to have to be some accountability. But what I really got out of yesterday's hearing with one of your favorite White House spokeswoman. When she was asked by Peter Ducey about why doesn't the president, since this is the first conference we've had since the indictments came out against Hunter out of California. But why doesn't the president just pardon him? And she said, I have told you, the president's not going to pardon. Really? We'll see how fast
Why
that
should we
changes.
believe anything they
Of
say about
course.
anything?
Yeah.
You know, if they say the sky is blue, I'm going to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe the sky's not
Exactly
really blue.
right.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
On the easiest things. So, defying a subpoena, right? Contempt of Congress, which, by the way, Eric Holder never got in any trouble for him defying a subpoena. But then what? Okay, so contempt of Congress. What's the consequence? I feel like perjury is not a thing anymore.
Well, if you're not testifying, they can't get you on perjury if you're not under oath.
But I mean people who have. Come on, Larry.
Yeah, I know.
Comey,
right.
Brennan,
Right.
Clapper. They all lied. Fauci! They all lied to Congress with absolutely no consequence.
That's a key point, and I keep waiting for, but I got a kick out of the other day, Dr. Fauci. This is not against anyone's religion. You're entitled to have your religion of your choice. He said he was being asked by BBC about being, if he's Catholic. He said, I am, but not practicing. I don't really go to so forth, so on. And he said, really, my moral ethics are my standard. And I'm thinking, what? I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I don't think you can go there.
Sticking the puppies' heads in the thing so the flies can eat their face off, that's morally ethical?
Well, when he's science, when he's the God,
Yeah.
he can't follow another God.
Of course
'cause he's
not.
the God.
That's right. The God.
So anyway, I just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, and who orchestrated that whole little speech by Hunter Biden the other day? Eric Swalwell.
Mm-hmm.
Swalwell walked him through the line of reporters, stood right by his side while he did that. So I think Swalwell should also be held in contempt of Congress, even though he is Congress, because I'm sure he told Hunter to do exactly what he did.
Well, between him and his attorneys, I mean, that speech had to be prepared. And I mentioned yesterday, well, how many times he practiced it, in the sense that they took the love of my father and turned it into a darkness. I mean, listen, I can do that all day long.
Right. So funny.
He's not a sympathetic victim, period.
I agree.
He's not a victim.
When you spend $600,000 on women,
really?
You're that's not just an addiction.
And Ken doesn't mean going to Jared.
No.
But I'm a father. I'm a good father. I'm a good husband. So what does a good husband sound like? Honey, yeah, I'm going out for a few days. Where are you going? Oh, snort some crack, bang some whores. See you in a couple days. Right?
Okay.
You know my brother's wife? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to bang her
Yeah,
too.
right, yeah.
So
we're all sinners. And I do feel for someone that has got so addicted, so wrapped up in that. But then it becomes all the cover-up and the monies and that's the whole point of the impeachment inquiry, to see if they can prove under the Constitution treason, bribery, other acts, high crimes and misdemeanors. And everything I listed has been documented on his own laptop and by bank records.
Right.
And Joe Biden himself, when he took such joyous remarks after he was out as VP, telling a group how he went to Ukraine and told them, you're not going to get that $1 billion unless you stop the investigation of Burisma.
He admitted quid pro quo right there on camera.
He did, but of course he didn't mention that his son was part of Burisma at the time, but he knew he was, and that was a quid pro quo, which they were all after Trump on.
All right, one thing, and then we'll let you go.
Yes, sir.
When you said you feel sorry for him for the addiction, right?
I feel sorry for anyone who gets caught in that.
Hold on.
All right.
I don't, because of the way he flaunted the whole thing. How the pictures that he took, with apparently underage girls.
Well, I'm not excusing what he did. I'm just saying
that's why
that,
I don't feel bad for him.
Well,
you're the vice president's son. Behave like a vice president's son should behave.
Well, behave like your father wanted you to behave. See, that's what it comes down to me. I mean, I don't know what the relationship is, but I'm a sinner, and I'm thankful God's forgiven me as much and often as he has. So if someone gets addicted into something like that, I do feel sorry for them. They got into it. That does not excuse them, though.
I agree.
I just want to make sure there's a distinction.
And if he did it undercover,
and then covered it up, and federal dollars,
not necessarily covered it up. What I'm trying to say is not flaunt it.
Well, the FBI covered
he's
it up
accused
for him.
of a Mann Act, is he not?
Oh, yeah.
Taking a girl across.
Same thing Chuck Berry got.
Oh, my God. Larry Connors, Thunder Stealer. Exactly what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Chuck Berry was convicted and went to jail for violating the Mann Act.
And how many are in jail right now for lying on a federal form to buy a gun? And most of them are minorities.
Unbelievable.
And going after Hunter is not just going after Hunter because he was being protected by 51 experts about the laptop.
Oh, yeah.
And they covered it up for so long, Larry, and I think that's one of the reasons why people like myself and Vic are just against the whole thing about him.
The charade. I do.
Yeah.
I call it out. I'm just talking about on a personal level.
Yeah.
But what gets me about those 51, not one of them ever saw the laptop or read anything off of it.
Right.
They just took a form around and said, hey, would you sign it? And you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies.
Right.
From the same time. Yeah, we'll sign both.
And none of those 51 will be held accountable.
No.
That's what I'm talking about. There's no accountability for anything you do in government.
That's what I'd want to do is have each one of them. What do you got in here that's vaping? What have you been vaping? Or what is it?
Don't blame it on us, okay, Mr. Whiskey Shooter.
I'll go ahead to go get more now.
Get me one,
that'll clear it up.
Bring one in. Bring one. I'll have one.
Thanks.
Larry Connors USA, 6 to 8 o'clock every night here on News Talk STL. Great commentary, 7:30 in the morning, 12:03 and 3:30 in the afternoon.
You're out. So you're my PR man.
Hey, you know what?
Lock and load. Ready on the right.
There we go. All right.
Thank
you,
you.
Larry.
Thanks, guys.
Right. The great Larry Connors, who joins us every Friday on News Talk STL.
Mr. Connors' Neighborhood on the Vic Porcelli Show.
Yeah. So again, just to remind you, our Saturday show tomorrow is going to be bang, bang. Keep his mic on for just a sec, would you?
Mm-hmm.
Lara Logan, Jake Lang, which thank you, by the way. Wait, we didn't even publicly
I wanted to thank you guys. I did use the interview you had. Ken sent it to me, and Ken, of course, had arranged for all of it. That was a great J6 interview, and I played it in the program, I think Thursday or Wednesday night.
Thanks,
it had to be
Larry.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It was. You guys did a good job.
The most important thing is he mentioned our name like 5 times.
I like that.
Me too. So
It's
thanks
better,
for that.
It's better than paying you. So
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Can't pay my mortgage with those thank yous, by the way.
That's all right. That's all right.
Thank you, Larry Connors.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Jay Ashcroft, Missouri Secretary of State. He's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
For podcast articles and more, find us on NewstalkSTL.com. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show.
Honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
On the next
Larry Connors USA.
the good, the bad, the ugly of the National Defense Authorization Act. We'll break it all down for you.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
As the year draws to a close, it's time to recognize your hard work and dedication with our 2023 Compact Tractor Model Year Closeout Sale. At Seidenberger Nobe Partners, we're offering additional savings on select in-stock John Deere Compact Tractor packages with financing options as low as 0%. Come see us at any of our 28 locations or visit us for more information at snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 12/30/2023. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Is your family prepared for the financial burden of losing a loved one?
Are you aware of the cost of a funeral?
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial could help you qualify for lifetime permanent final expense insurance coverage with no medical exam required.
Just answer a few health questions, and once accepted, your rates never increase.
Do you have diabetes? High blood pressure?
Have you had a heart attack? A stroke?
No problem.
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial can help protect your legacy.
Call or text 314-866-8886. That's 314-866-8886.
To learn more about permanent lifetime final expense insurance coverage.
Benjamin Schaefer with Senior Memorial could help you qualify for immediate coverage by answering just a few health questions.
Call or text 314-866-8886. Or learn more at memorialplans.com. That's memorialplans.com.
Policies underwritten by Senior Life Insurance Company, Not available in all states.
Lit Cigar wins Best Smoking Lounge and Best Smoke Shop in the Riverfront Times Best of St. Louis listing for 2023. That is 2 years back-to-back. Lit Cigar Lounge and its new space in the district just off Highway 40 in Chesterfield. Lit is for men and women who enjoy great cigars, premium drinks. The website keeps you on top of special events, including live entertainment. LitSTL.com. LitSTL.com.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
Newstalk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Missouri Broadcasters Association Air Talent of the Year. This is the Vic Porcelli Show.
Congratulations on that award, Ken.
Hey, congratulations, Vic.
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
All right. Jay Ashcroft, Missouri Secretary of State. Happy birthday, Mr. Secretary.
Good morning and Merry Christmas.
All right. That's
it's
nice.
Friday.
All right. So I would like, I know there's a bunch of stuff that we told you we were going to talk about, but I want to talk about something else first because you're the king of voting. You're the king of free and fair elections. So there was a story we talked about this past week, Mr. Secretary, that said, listen to this number. 1 in 5 people who did mail-in voting cheated on their ballot in 2020.
That is why you should have people vote in person on Election Day and require them to show their government-issued photo ID.
Yep. And I think that I'm really getting sick and tired of people telling me, don't go back and complain about the 2020 election. It's like saying, okay, well, Al Capone murdered a bunch of people, but that was in the past. Let's not talk about that anymore, right?
Yeah, he's a new man.
So 1 in 5 cheated. 2 in 5 said that they filled out a ballot for someone else.
That's believable. And that's why we made changes with, like, the absentee ballots that we can send to assisted living facilities so that we were sending 2-person teams, bipartisan teams, to vote those people in person. The idea that there are not problems with our elections, that there are not ways that we can make them better is ridiculous. We should always be making them better. And we should learn from the past so that we don't have some of the same problems in the future.
Yeah, it's all connected, though. It's all a vicious cycle because the 2020 election, all the stats I just gave you, right? Then Dinesh D'Souza comes up with this documentary that says that
2,000 Mules.
2,000 Mules. And then the J6 committee cheats and doesn't say the truth, doesn't tell the truth in the testimony. And then January 6th. It's all tied together. January 6th wouldn't have happened if the election was free and fair in November of 2020. Do you see where I'm going here? It's just one big circle of crap.
I do see where you're going, and people feel like there is no recourse. They feel like they're not being listened to, that the federal government is going after innocent people. Well, because they are.
Right.
And that's the problem we're in.
But we're called conspiracy kooks if we say it.
It's not a conspiracy if it's true.
That's right. All right. Let's get on to some of the stuff we're supposed to be talking about here. A lawsuit filed against Missouri voter ID requirements. What is that about?
That is about they're afraid they can't win fair and free elections. Missourians know they required to present that government-issued photo ID in November of last year when they went to vote. There are crazies on the left that are saying that shouldn't be allowed. They've even said that it's unconstitutional, even though the Constitution of Missouri specifically allows for a government-issued photo ID requirement.
Right. And I always I try to bring up the most absurd example, right? You can't go to Hollywood Casino if you want to play in a poker tournament. You're not allowed to play unless you present an ID, a valid, not expired voter ID. So I can play in a poker tournament. I mean, I can't play in a poker tournament, but I can vote without ID. It's so absurd. That's why I picked the most absurd examples.
I always loved that we'd have unions come and testify against photo ID, and then we'd find out that in their elections they require a government-issued photo ID to vote. The Democrat Party would be against it. Or like, well, in your caucus that you had a couple years ago, you required a government-issued photo ID. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
It's the right thing to do. It's simple common sense. We're going to do it in Missouri.
All right. I really admire that you make it a priority to visit all of the counties in the state. You've done it for 7 straight years. What are the things you've learned? What are the things you're happy about? And what are the things you're not happy about?
I'm not happy with how the people are being treated. I'm not happy with the fact that the good people of Missouri are working sometimes multiple jobs to try to make ends meet, and the state just keeps taking more of their money.
Mm-hmm.
The gas tax is going to go up another 2.5 cents in July. The budget's doubled in 7 years, almost did it in only 5. That's ridiculous. We're not here to serve the government. The government is here to create an environment where we can live and make our own decisions, and we got to get these big government Republicans and big government Democrats out of government and tell them to get a real job.
Yeah, exactly right. I would love to go back in time, right? First of all, I'm obsessed with time travel anyway, but I would love to go back in time and try to find that point in history when they stopped working for us and we started working for them. I'm talking about elected officials, Congress and Senate, because there's got to be a starting point. I don't know if it was the invention of lobbyists or what, but it was somewhere in time, right?
It was gradual, and I think it's kind of like the old adage, if you throw a frog into a boiling pot, they'll jump out, but if you throw them in there and just slowly turn up the heat, they won't. And we need to, how did we get to the point where we expected elected officials to lie?
Right.
And we allowed that.
Right.
I mean, how did we ever get to the point where we didn't go to the polling place and say, wait a minute, he lied to me? I will never vote for him. That's where we need to be. We need accountability and to hold them responsible.
Boy, you're absolutely right. And I think somewhere around Harry Truman, this started to go bad because it was his quote that said, if you get rich being a politician, then you're a crook, right? So in his lifetime, clearly people were being politicians to serve the public, not make a lot of money. A lot of the politicians back then had other part-time jobs when the legislative session was over.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't agree with everything President Truman did, but he's a far better example of what we should want in our leaders than what we have nowadays in Washington.
All right, let's talk about the border. Ken and I have a theory.
We have a border? We should tell that to the people in D.C.
Right.
They don't seem to realize that.
I think they have realized that, and they think, well, here, okay, Ken and I have this theory, okay? Because when you hear Karine Jean-Pierre, or if you hear Biden talk about it, or Mayorkas say...
Do we have to talk about them?
Well, yeah, because I'll give you a chance to kick the crap out of them here in about 20 seconds. They say the plan is working, right? We inherited a broken immigration system, the system that kept them out. So clearly their plan is to let them in. So the plan is working.
Their plan is working because their plan is to destroy America and to destroy American exceptionalism. They hate the idea of a free country where people are expected to be independent from government and work hard and make their own decisions. They hate the fact that America is superior to other countries, not because of our people, because Americans are everyone else, but because of our government that believed in liberty, that believed in personal responsibility, that believed in hard work. We got to slam the door to anybody that's coming here for free stuff and open it wide for people that are coming for freedom.
All right, so two articles caught my eye today, both about fentanyl. One was older people, like senior citizens. Well, I know I'm an older person, but what I'm saying is old people with fentanyl deaths. And then kids in Virginia got their hands on gummies that were fentanyl laced, and they got sick and some died. So this fentanyl thing and the border, it's all connected, and there's got to be a way to stop it. There's got to be.
It's all connected. It's part of the border, and it's part of China's plan to weaken the United States. And unfortunately, we have a president who has been paid off by foreign governments like China, and he's not lifting a finger to do anything to protect Americans. We need a president that will get us back to putting Americans first.
Right on. Argentina's new president, he came in and drained the swamp by 50% right off the bat.
I'm excited for him. I mean, I can't believe he'll be successful because everybody in the swamp was going to be against him. But hallelujah, to have a breath of fresh air, that someone that's willing to stand up for the people of Argentina and do what's right. I wish him the best of luck. I pray that God blesses him because that's what we need, people to just rip government apart and let people be free to make their own decisions.
Boy, you're right. How's the campaign going?
It's going great. I love getting around the state. I'm in southwest Missouri, or as my dad would say, God's country. Near our farm, talking to people. I love it.
Tell your dad we said hi, by the way, would you?
I will.
And
I will definitely do that. He loved talking to you.
Tell him we said happy birthday.
Oh, that cute.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Secretary. Have a great week. We'll talk next week.
Have a great weekend.
You
Thanks.
too.
Bye.
You know, if nothing else, and there's been plenty else, but if nothing else, we have shown that elected officials can be fun, right?
Yeah.
Nick started this whole happy birthday thing,
Right.
Every day it's happy birthday, Vic. I mean, I'm confused even when my own birthday is. And then the secretary caught up with it, and now it's just, I mean, we're having fun. You can get things done and have fun at the same time.
I think you can.
Like a radio show.
I think so.
You can have fun.
It's Friday.
There's your proof right there. Ken, let's check chat box really quickly, can we? Chat box music up and running. Amy says TGIF, Vic Heads. TGIF. Wow, she
TGIF.
both timed it. Kim says good Friday morning, everyone. Kim also says it was 1913. That's when she says that's when Congress stopped working for us and we started working for them.
Oh, okay.
Because I believe before 1913, I could be wrong on this, before 1913, there were no taxes. People didn't pay taxes.
Well, not only that, Vic, but income taxes was only supposed to be a temporary fix.
Right. But prior to it at all, I think there was no tax. And everything ran fine.
Yeah.
You know? And now we're just taxed to death. So thanks, Kim, for that. GMVH, we know what that means. That means good morning, Vic Heads. Ed Stoit, pledge allegiance to the flag and America. He says, it's Friday. Happy birthday. He said, happy birthday. MAGA, 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 MAGA. No fair elections, no peace. No fair subpoenas, compliance, no peace.
La, 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 no peace.
Yeah. Our group would always pull the happy birthday deal on our bosses at dinner. That's so funny. Somebody named Scobro said that. And Goat Lady Kibbs in the box this morning. Our favorite goat farmer. I would have to say she's our favorite goat farmer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Go Lady Kibbs. Are you kidding me?
She goes, did I miss a party? No, Goat Lady, this was our staff party. But I think I heard that we're going to have an open house here. So
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's coming up. And then she says, whiskey. Yeah. That was good stuff, man. All right, tell you what. Let's take 5 minutes for news from townhall.com. Smoozy Q is in the building. We'll talk to her next on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
To our brave police officers and first responders, we say thank you for risking your lives to protect us. To all the incredible volunteers who've joined hands with the David Dorn Foundation to raise funds for equipment and services, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. We stand strong with our volunteers who give their time, talent, and dedication as a shield of support for those who rush into danger. The David Dorn Foundation gives a big thank you from our heart to yours. Visit dornfoundation.com and join as a volunteer.
It's been a very busy year for Wellington Environmental. Tom and his staff had traveled all over making sure that minor issues don't become major disasters. Then there are the times Wellington is called in for emergencies, but nothing Wellington hasn't seen before. They have certified inspectors, chemists, scientists, environmental planners, and that's just some of their expertise. That is why the St. Louis Business Journal gave Wellington such a high ranking. So what will 2024 bring? No one knows, but if you take time to visit the Wellington Environmental Facebook, you're going to see things that might explain health issues at your home or business, affecting you, your family, clients. Wellington Environmental Facebook. Tom Wellington and the entire staff wish you a blessed 2024. Your world, cleaner, better, safer. So, as always, be well with Wellington.
Hey guys, Columbo here, reminding you that if you belong to an organization like a school or a church, or your kids are part of a group or a sports team that needs to raise money, there's no better way to do so than with a TJ's Pizza fundraiser. TJ's Pizza has been helping local organizations raise money for over 30 years to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. A local company helping local people, and there's lots of different ways TJ's can help you raise big money fast. Get started now at tjspizza.com.
Columbo and Katie.
When it comes down to getting in the ballot box, Democratic voters vote for the Democrat.
Yeah.
Republican voters are typically more in tune with the policies of the candidates, not the party in general, of the candidates. And if they don't like a candidate, they won't vote for him. But you need to understand that the team that you're going against, they're going to vote for the letter no matter what.
Tony Columbo, Katie Fitzpatrick. Weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is Newstalk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. A top American envoy says the U.S. and Israel have discussed a timetable for scaling back intense combat operations in the war against Hamas, even though they agree the overall fight will take months. Former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Dr. Michael Oren, says President Biden's claim that Israel has been indiscriminately bombing civilian areas in Gaza is untrue and unfair.
But they simply have to stop this rhetoric of accusing us basically of war crimes. The subtext is you Israelis are liars and you Israelis are murderers. And you can imagine how harmful that is.
Dr. Oren was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. The Senate will delay its Christmas break to try and achieve a compromise on border reforms.
The Senate had been expected to leave town for its Christmas break after wrapping up business this week. But Majority Leader Charles Schumer now says the body will return on Monday in hopes of reaching a border compromise. Republicans are demanding major policy changes they say are needed to secure the border as part of their support for the supplemental spending bill for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. GOP senators don't appear optimistic. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says, quote, I think we're a long way from being able to pass something that matters by the end of the year. Bob Agnew reporting.
A ballistic missile fired by Yemen's Houthi rebels has slammed into a cargo ship in the Red Sea near the strategic Bab el-Mandeb Strait. That followed another attack only hours earlier that struck a separate vessel. The Oregon Supreme Court has heard arguments in a lawsuit filed by Republican state senators who boycotted the legislature earlier this year and want to run for re-election. The GOP senators are challenging the Secretary of State's interpretation of a voter-approved constitutional amendment aimed at stopping legislative walkouts. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast for your Friday. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Another mild, dry day with a high of 59 degrees. Look for scattered rain to move in overnight tonight. We'll drop down to 43 degrees. And then for your Saturday, scattered light rain is likely. It's going to be a cloudy and cooler day with a high of 49 degrees. But Sunday looks dry, partly cloudy with a high of 48. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, welcome home. Welcome back. This show has flown right by, Ken.
All week.
Is it because it's Friday?
It could be very.
Is that why?
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Apparently it is.
Jazz hands.
What did you say?
Jazz hands. Paul Cook did that. He got caught. Paul Cook was doing the traffic on Channel 5. And I was watching one morning, and he goes, "It's Friday." And
did he say that?
Yeah, and he did the hands thing, and he kind of stopped, like,
"Oops, I'm on camera."
I wonder if anybody knows.
That's so
TV,
funny.
not radio.
I got that.
He's doing so good.
He is, man.
He's doing such a great job. And does he look good in a suit and tie or what?
He's got the big boy clothes on.
He is a handsome guy, that Paul Cook. And he's good at what he does. All right, let's get moving here.
Oh, Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss.
And I should have listened to Susie more from the beginning. Whatever. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming to the party last night.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good to be here. Good to see the studio, do the little tour. And
Did you take the shot of Larry Connor's whiskey?
I didn't. Brown liquor and I do not get along.
Is that right?
I just can't do it. It makes me want to.
Tequila
I can shoot.
Really?
Whiskey, no.
Huh. Tequila made me puke on a police officer's shoes.
Yeah, it'll do that.
Back in the day, Sal and I would go out and, what we would do.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it was okay to, if you were drunk, pull over the side of the road and sleep it off.
Right.
So this cop came up to us. He knocked on the window. I was driving, completely wasted, and opened the door. And he goes, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Oh, just sleeping it off. We're at the Towpath. Towpath was this bar we used to go to." And he goes, "All right, well, you're going to be all right?" And I said, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden, it just came up, and I puked right on his shoes.
Great.
And he didn't arrest us or anything?
Well, he probably figured you were better then, once you got it all out of you.
Okay. Off you go.
Don't try this at home, folks.
I was good with tequila until one night. It was a wedding we went to, and I had a couple shots, and it never bothered me. And I just got really sick, and then I threw it up. And after that, I was
Once
like,
you do that, see, that's the thing.
Are we talking about straight tequila? Or
Yeah,
okay.
tequila shots.
Yeah. I mean, I like margaritas too, but yeah, I'm
I
talking
love
about
margaritas.
actually
That's what I'm saying.
doing a shot of tequila. I can do that if I've got the salt and the lime, but
So Larry
you do
had
have to limit it.
Larry had the whiskey last
He
night,
did.
and he brought me a shot, and I have not shot anything in a long, long time, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, can't do it.
It was flames and fire going down, but once it got down there, it was pretty.
Fireball, I can actually do a little shot of, but it's like cinnamon.
But like Larry said, though, is if you're not used to it, it really is going to burn.
Yeah. So here's what a weenie I am. The whiskey I can drink is like that honey whiskey, did you ever see that honey whiskey?
Kind of the extra special sweet kind of.
That's because I'm a complete wimp. complete drinking.
It's like
whim.
the frappe latte
It is,
thing of
drinking.
whiskey. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
That's a good analogy.
All right, let's get down to business here.
All
So
right.
George Santos is gone. His replacement, you think, is the real deal.
Yeah. Now, so she's not his replacement yet. She's going to be running in a special election in February. There will be a Democrat opposing her, and it's the guy who held the seat prior to Santos.
Oh, boy.
But he lost to Kathy Hochul for the governor's race. She's got a pretty good chance. This is a gal who's a state legislator in New York. She's an Ethiopian Israeli Orthodox Jew, mother of 7, and former IDF paratrooper.
Oh, my God.
And the point of that was, think about George Santos's resume that he completely fabricated. Hers seems to actually be a legit resume.
And another factor involved here is the situation as it is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a lot of pissed off New Yorkers about being against Democrats at this point.
Yeah, his district is, it's a Republican-favored district. It's Massapequa. It's out on Long Island. So, she's got a decent chance.
Yeah. So just a quick thing about something that you just said. She was an IDF paratrooper. When you live in Israel, you have to join the military.
Right.
There's
2 years.
No question, And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Let's do it here. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, man, they all do it proudly.
Yeah.
Right? And fight for their country. Right. And now look how important that is.
Right. No, it's really been brought home since October 7th, how important that is. Yeah, I think they do it without thinking about it because that's just the way of life there.
Life, right.
Yeah. And, not everybody is cut out to serve in a sort of a combat position, but they are all trained. And when it became apparent that they were going to be at war, they've all been, called up. I know people who've got kids that are over there serving now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know a lot of people from
Mm-hmm.
I don't maybe do you?
But I know a fair amount of people in the Jewish community.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one of my favorite poker players. His name is Eli Elezra.
Mm-hmm.
Cool looking guy. He's got the hair slicked back, kind of mafia style. He's from Israel, and I'm like, wow, he's a great poker player, and he's probably killed about 10 or 20 people.
You never know. Don't mess with Mossad.
Yeah. So Mazi Melissa Pilip could be George. I didn't realize that it had to be an election against it. I thought we'd automatically keep that seat, but we could lose another seat.
No, for House seats, when one's vacated, a special election is held. Governors
so we could
don't
lose
appoint.
that seat.
Sure. Yeah.
The slim lead that we had could get in even slimmer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know what? I hope you're right about Massapequa, Long Island being red enough to elect her because we can't. Susie, we can't lose more than we've already lost.
No, we can't.
As far as seats go, as far as, somebody needs to stand up to Dan Goldman and tell him, my God, everything you say is a lie. Everything he says is a lie.
He's so,
He's so slimy
I
and
know.
sleazy. Oh,
I
and
know.
by the way, Hunter Biden's little speech in front of the Capitol the other day, who was standing right next to him and orchestrated the whole thing?
Fang's boyfriend.
Yes. So now, isn't there any consequence for that? He helped somebody defy a subpoena.
There may be. They're already looking at whether or not he can be sanctioned in some way. The ethics committee is taking a look at whether or not he did something inappropriate because he was basically helping, not suborn perjury because he didn't testify, but to get
What's
him
that
to
word
defy.
you said?
Suborn.
What? No, what does that mean?
Invite.
Oh, okay.
Or encourage. Yeah.
That's a legal phrase.
It
Suborn.
is.
I've I've heard it before, but I never knew what it
Yeah.
meant. So we can't even hold Hunter Biden accountable, right?
Well,
how are we going to hold Swalwell accountable when he just kind of suborned this little thing he did yesterday?
yeah, at most he'll probably get an ethical slap on the wrist. But, I guess that's probably commensurate with the nature of what he did. It's you were talking about this earlier. The teeth in someone defying, in consequences for someone defying a congressional subpoena, they're not, theoretically the DOJ could go after the person, but we all know this DOJ is not going to do that.
Right.
So
they certainly went after Navarro and Bannon for the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And then you go back, Eric Holder was never held accountable for.
Yeah, he was held in contempt, but there was no, other than being held in contempt.
Susie, that is exactly my point.
Yeah.
You can be held in contempt if it means something.
Yeah.
If it doesn't mean anything, then it's not even a real thing to me.
I agree. You know what? If you break the rules, if you don't follow the rules, you should pay the consequence for that.
It gives me a headache, I swear to God. So the Republican race, if you want to call it a race, Donald Trump hasn't debated right? They're talking about a one-on-one, head-to-head debate with DeSantis. What do you think he should do, and what do you think he will do?
Well, so I'm a poli-sci person.
Love it.
I'm a political nerd.
Yeah.
So in my point of view, from my point, and as a voter, I want my candidates to debate. I want them to answer for their record. I want them to be clear about what they're planning to do. And so I would like to see him debate. I feel like that's the proper thing to do. Strategically, I don't see what he gains from it.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if he just wants to win, which, I don't blame him for wanting to win, so I don't see what the upside is for him to do it.
I made an analogy this morning that it's like being in a basketball game and being up 20 points with a couple of minutes left. Why would you just fire up shots that may miss and the opponent may get and cut the lead? They stall. It's they what do they call it, Ken? Kill
running
the
out the clock.
Running out the clock.
Running out the clock. Yeah.
And
did you think I wouldn't know the sports analogy?
No. Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't even think of the sports analogy, but I'm sorry. So, boy, that was really terrible of me. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Susie, what's that called when you don't want to shoot and
you run out the clock?
Oh, all right. Thanks. But I don't know. If I were up as high as he was up, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I can't fault him for that having that strategy.
And the first thing you said, you want to know exactly where he stands. I mean, I think he tells us exactly where he stands in every rally that he's at.
Oh, no, I don't think it's a mystery about where he stands, but I think he should have to face questions for things that didn't get done in his prior administration. What were the drawbacks, and what is he going to do going forward? How is he going to affect this policy, that policy? In other words, what any candidate is being asked to do when they're on a debate stage or at a town hall.
Yeah. Now, did we talk about last week his "I'm going to be a dictator for a day" thing? I don't think we did talk about that, you and I.
I feel like we talked about it for 2 seconds and
Okay,
didn't
well,
really
let's
actually
talk about it more.
Yeah.
So he says to Hannity, "Yeah, I'm going to be a dictator for one day. I'm going to drill and close the border." Right? Not two. Those aren't dictatorial things.
No, those
right?
are actually things he could do with executive order.
And he was being funny, if it was funny or not. He was trying to be funny. And the left says, look, he even admits he's going to be a dictator. If he wins, there'll never be, listen to this one, Liz Cheney, there will never be another election ever again.
The left has never known how to or cared to try to interpret Trump. Like how many times does he say things that you shouldn't be taking literally, and they do, and other times when he's saying things that you should be taking literally and they don't.
Oh, I've got a lot to say on it, but
go.
I would rather do is play a little clip here.
Go, do it.
And as long as we want to do it, because it's pretty long, but let's go.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president. Because if he is,
you can't imagine the things that he's going to do. Mexico, Canada. We can't go to Canada because eventually Canada will become annexed to America.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah, that means he can shoot the First Lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Fuhrer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution.
To rewrite the Constitution.
Create mass
I think we've heard enough. How long is that?
Oh, it's
okay.
like 3 minutes long.
But there you go. There's exactly everything I said in color.
I know. I'm laughing. Because I know, but I know there are people who are swallowing that and believe that is true.
Yeah,
that's because the media is pushing all this crap.
That's who's talking for the most part in those clips.
Every one of these, it's over 3 minutes long.
Yeah. No, so, I know it's ridiculous.
Susie, why can't Republicans in Congress circle the wagons like the Democrats do? I mean, you got to give them credit. They get a narrative, everybody gets on board, and the Republicans are so fractured. Half of them hate Trump, half of them love Trump. I mean, and by the way, that Chris Sununu, he can kiss my fat Italian ass. He endorsed Nikki Haley, but he's on Neil Cavuto's show. And by the way, is there a bigger little bitch than Neil Cavuto on television? And all they do is badmouth Trump the entire segment.
That's all they do, yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to the circle of wagons.
Well, I think you actually hit on this. And part of it goes to sort of the underlying personality type or character traits of people that tend to be more conservative or Republican-minded in their voting. People tend to be more individualistic, whereas the people on the left tend to be like lockstep follow along, right? Now, I mean, it's so strange to me that the liberals have become the authoritarians or the ones who are inviting authoritarianism. But there is the mentality where it's like you follow along. As long as the government is the one that you want, you do everything that they say, and government is the answer, whereas Republicans kind of have the exact opposite view. And so because of that, it's a blessing and a curse. You've got a lot of individualism and people that are trying to kind of stick up for their own views.
May I add that the left is being so authoritarian, yet accusing the right of being authoritarian.
Well, that's one of their tricks, as you well know.
Yeah, and that's part of the whole two things. The Ed Stoight thing that we always bring up, because everything Democrats say, the opposite is true. I swear to God it is. And the other thing is, when they come up with a narrative, okay, so we talked to Lara Logan on Monday, okay? And she had some video of Ray Epps that nobody's ever seen before. This guy baked Alaska. He's from Alaska, and I think he's stoned all the time, so his name is Baked Alaska.
Very appropriate.
And Ray Epps leaned into Baked Alaska, and said, we're going to storm the Capitol. That was a night before. So what Ray Epps did was let out the narrative, because then she played a montage of people saying the phrase storm the Capitol. And how many times have we seen that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the verbiage settled on very quickly as it unfolded. I don't know that Ray Epps was the generator of that. I mean, that's what most people would use to negatively characterize that situation.
I don't think he was the generator of it, but I think he was told.
Those were the marching orders.
Right.
Right.
That was what we were going to say, but he said it too early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which
He
by
didn't strike
definition
me as the brightest
is a
bulb.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
Right? It's a media conspiracy. I get it. First Amendment, freedom of the press, I get it. But they shouldn't be allowed to purposely lie. Make it like the New York Times left out the word financially.
About Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Freedom of the press. I'll die on that hill. But if it's an honest mistake, a malicious mistake, I think is different.
Well, and we've talked about this before, there are legal repercussions when there is malice, when you're talking about defaming somebody or lying about somebody, that person can bring an action against them. Like that kid, the 9-year-old kid with that the Deadspin guy accused of being in blackface at the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
You know, the reason that Deadspin is now like spinning backwards is because they know they're in legal trouble.
Yeah.
They can bring that lawsuit. Nick Sandmann bring the lawsuit. When you're a public figure, it's a harder hurdle to clear, but if you can prove actual malice.
My problem with it is, though, they're guilty by omission, and they're masters at omitting things. And that's the thing that would be so hard to convict somebody on or
because it's
charge
legal,
somebody
Ken.
with. Because they can omit something. Oh, well, I just didn't talk about that.
Well, here's the thing about that. We don't want it to be illegal. We want the market to actually answer to that. And it answers to that right now in the polling and the media landscape is not pretty. I mean, like from a financial standpoint, the media business is not a healthy business right now.
Yeah.
So they are paying a price for it. I mean, that's the natural order.
Some are and some aren't. Some instances, yes. Nick Sandmann, you brought it up. Kyle Rittenhouse, I think, got a bunch of money. The kid, the Kansas City Chiefs kid.
He may.
But then those, I think, are the isolated incidents.
Yeah, but I just mean in terms of their overall financial health. I mean, these organizations are dying. You know, the New York Times is dying.
Subscribers
on the vine.
and the long-term.
Traditional print media, legacy media, it's slowly dying on the vine, and we're watching it happen.
Yeah. And it's self-inflicted, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean, people are turning away from sources that they don't consider reliable anymore.
But not Red State, though.
Well, no, absolutely.
Red State's really flying high.
You're an ass kisser. Oh, my God.
Thanks, Ken.
Well, you know what? I'm a subscriber.
You are a subscriber, and we appreciate that.
I love it.
All right.
It's a really reasonable subscription.
It really is. You got to check it out. Redstate.com.
You know, I want to say something.
Okay.
One morning I came in, and I said to Ken, Ken, I was driving in today, and this truck driver wanted to get in my lane because I love to give them the flashers and let them go in front of me, and then they say thank you with their lights. He called me a truck driver kiss ass on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, there's worse things you could be called, Vic.
True.
So my point is, So my point is that how long ago, you're very familiar with Bias by Bernie Goldberg.
Yes.
Okay, so how long ago was that? 20 years?
20 years, yeah.
Right? So the bias was there then. Back 20 years ago, newspapers were still a thing. Physical newspapers still a thing. Now, people have the chance to, that's a bunch of crap. I'm going to click away from that.
Yep.
It's not a physical newspaper anymore. So maybe maybe, because I don't feel sorry for these left-wing publications that are dying. Let them die.
Right.
You know?
What's the definition of yellow journalism?
Here you go.
Oh, yeah. It goes back a long way. But isn't it
Yeah.
being like untruthful and deceitful?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's everything we're talking about, but they don't even use that anymore because, well, it doesn't really fit anymore.
I mean, journalism is a kind of murky term anymore.
Right.
It just upsets me. It
I
really
know.
upsets
I
me.
get it. Well, that's why it's important for you to have your voice and Ken to have his voice and Red State to have its voice. Those are important things.
And to subscribe to Red State. Blah, blah, blah. Say hi to the gang for us, okay?
I will.
Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. We know her better. Smoozy Q on Twitter. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys. You
All right.
too.
Great that you're in here, by the way. The
Yeah,
conversation
fun.
is so much easier
is.
because the little delay on the phone gets a little weird and everything. All right, that's Susie Moore.
Thanks, Susie.
Up next, our break all about President Donald John Trump. But before we get there, I just want to say that Christmas time is coming. Oh, glories. In front of the thing I need here. So we're going to have our Christmas special again this year like we did last year. Make us part of your holiday. We're going to share our personal stories, and I think the story I told yesterday on the deli is going to be in that because I've told that story for this Christmas special. Christmas Eve at 6 p.m., Christmas morning at 6 a.m. Perfect soundtrack for your family holiday gatherings. News Talk STL Family Christmas brought to you by Great Harvest Bread Company in Maplewood, Case and Bucks, Grub and Pub in Barnhart, and Super Smokers Barbecue on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Whoosh.
Bosses me around.
My grandfather fitting from Scranton would really be proud of me right now.
On News Talk STL.
Okay, so caring for a loved one, right? I mean, there's a difference between when your mom takes care of you when you're sick. All right, let's be honest. Guys, right, when the wife takes care of us when we're sick, right? It's like, oh, my God, you don't feel good. What's wrong? I got a cold. But serious problems, health problems, long-term care, not only is stressful emotionally, but it's stressful financially, okay? So conversations that are tough to have is what are we going to do with this cost that in St. Louis can be $60,000 to $70,000 or even up to $100,000 if it's in a facility, right? Can your savings fund this type of additional expense and keep the lifestyle that you deserve? Guess who can help you? Chris Cooper at Serenity Wealth Management. He's a CPA, financial strategist, and long-term care specialist. He's got a free book for you. It's called The CPA's Guide to Tax-Free Strategies for Long-Term Care. Get it for free at SerenityLTC.com. That's SerenityLTC.com. Serenity now! It's Chris Cooper.
Investment advisory services offered through OWLFI LLC, a SEC registered investment advisor. This is a paid endorsement. Insurance and education services offered through Serenity Wealth Management.
Serenity now!
Do you live in West St. Louis County? Then you can get West News Magazine delivered free to your home just by asking for it. West News Magazine is the only print source for the political, school, business, and sports news happening in your hometown. Simply visit westnewsmagazine.com/subscribe or pick up a free copy at all area Deerbergs and Schnuck stores. West News Magazine. Anybody who wants it gets it. Anybody who gets it wants it. Subscribe for free today. Simply visit westnewsmagazine.com/subscribe.
Hi, it's Mark McCloskey from MyPillows. MyPillow is excited to bring you their biggest bedding sale ever just in time for Christmas. Get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98. A set of pillowcases for only $9.98. Rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. They also have blankets in a variety of sizes, colors, and styles. They even have blankets for your pets. Get quilts, down comforters, body pillows, bolster pillows, and so much more, all with the biggest discounts ever. They're also extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1st, 2024, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and everyone you know. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code ONFIRE or call 800-645-1392, and you'll get huge discounts on all MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, and get all your shopping done now while the quantities last.
I got an email which brought a smile. A woman named Mary wrote me, "We are purchasing a new roof from John Beal based on your recommendation." I thanked her then. I do it again now. Mary, I only endorse clients I believe in, and I've been a spokesman for John Beal for 10 years. It's all about trust. So if, like Mary, you need John Beal, trust me. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF. 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
I'm Susie Moore, and this is More to the Point.
We've heard a lot about context lately, largely because that's the bunker 3 Ivy League presidents opted to retreat to when asked the exceedingly difficult question of whether calls for genocide violated their schools' respective codes of conduct last week as they testified before Congress. Just kidding. That's not really a difficult question. The difficult part for the 3 presidents was the answer, because if they gave the right answer, the one that rests on moral clarity, they'd have a new dilemma on their hands, the fouling up of the oppression matrix, and that would send the squeakiest wheels of their student bodies into overdrive. So they tried to use weasel words and contextualize something that actually can't be contextualized, at least not if one hopes to lay claim to any moral high ground. I mean, there's certainly context for it if morality can be dispensed with. The problem with that approach, though, is that a lot of high-dollar donors aren't keen on it. In the end, they chose unwisely, and rather than the 3 wise men, we retreated to the 3 unwise women. Perhaps unlike on far too many campuses these days, there's a valuable lesson to be learned from this episode. When caught between a rock and a hard place, do the right thing.
Susie Moore is Deputy Managing Editor for RedState.com. For more to the point and everything Susie Moore, log on to RedState.com. Follow Susie on Twitter @SmoozyQ and keep listening to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. What happens next?
The White House is trying to block more information.
Happens right here.
We don't know what decisions may have been made under the color of the United States government that affected his family's finances.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Yo, Vic, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
On News Talk STL.
From Sioux City to Iowa City, from Fort Dodge to Cedar Rapids, and from Des Moines to Davenport, we stand on the shoulders of generations of Iowa patriots who gave everything they had for our country and for our freedom. Incredible people, incredible, brave, strong people. This great state was founded by tough frontiermen, strong pioneer women who defied the dangers to carve out a life for a great family, beautiful home and family. They tamed the wilderness, they braved the elements, they tilled the soil, they worked the fields, they built the factories, and they poured out their blood, sweat, and tears to make this country into the greatest nation in the history of the world.
Joe Biden couldn't string together a paragraph like that, even when he had good mental skills.
No, not even the first sentence.
Right?
No.
I mean, not to mention he doesn't believe in everything that Donald Trump does. That's him talking in Coralville, Iowa. Was that yesterday or the day before?
I think it was the day before.
So how dare the government tell farmers that what they do is destroying the planet?
That's John Kerry you're talking about,
Exactly
primarily.
right. Exactly.
He's the climate czar,
Mhm.
and he is literally saying, and I'm telling you, Vic, I used to have audio for that. We didn't play it. Of him saying that, yes, we need less farmers. We need them to stop doing what they're doing. And I think, you know what? I think Trump needs to make it clear that he's going to be part of a revival of the farmer.
Yeah. I mean, here is the ideal situation. Donald Trump gets elected as the 47th president in November of 2024, hashtag 45 and 47. And then Ron DeSantis wins in 28 and 32. This gives us 12 years to fight off the communists, because that's all they are, Ken, are communists.
That's all it is.
And I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of hearing the squad. How did we let the squad form, by the way? How did we let that happen? This is what I'm talking about when we're talking to Susie about circling the wagons, getting the narrative. How did we let Ilhan Omar, who came from Somalia, wherever the hell she's from, Ilhan Omar Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley, AOC, and now Cori Bush. That was her big plan, right? That was her big dream, to get elected and be part of that squad, because they get all, and I get all the attention on me, and I'm going to use security money for me, but not for you.
The problem is she's just stupid. And it's a shame she's from St. Louis, because she is just uneducated.
Do we know, by the way, how the Wesley Bell thing is going?
We'll have to look into that for next week.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind having him on.
Oh, absolutely. I've always been for having a Democrat on.
Yeah.
We need to get that one guy on who was on our stream, on our chat box.
Oh, right. I forgot about him.
Mike something.
Michael Burton.
Yeah, have him on and talk about, he's a representative.
I think we had a pretty civil conversation.
I think we did.
I mean, it doesn't have to be yelling and screaming at each other.
No, it doesn't.
And even from our side, let them talk. Tell them they got to stop and listen to you. And then, eloquently state your case and prove them wrong.
But let's get back to the farmers for a second.
I'm
Vic,
sorry,
we've got a lot of listeners like Sandra D. She contacts me all the time by email. She's a farmer, and she knows a lot of farmers. Yeah. And she tells me some of the things that they go through. Like, for example, when we brought up, there hasn't been a real big, there hasn't been a bad drought.
Oh, yeah.
And it really was for the farmer.
Yes.
And she said it's a lot different for a farmer when there's a drought than it is for anybody else, and it's true. But Vic, if they don't do something about these farmers are going to sell their land to housing, to structures, whatever they're going to sell it to. Once they do that, they can't go back.
Yeah.
It's like, like we can change presidents, we can't change that farmer. If he's that invested in it, and then he no longer is, he can't just suddenly get that back again.
And, not for nothing, but part of the plan, Kerry's plan, is to depopulate the earth. By the way, the United States is on the earth, So what does he mean by that, depopulate?
Well, see, this is a question that everybody keeps bringing up. But if you haven't heard John Kerry, and not only that, but by the World Health Organization and WEF, if you haven't heard these people talk, they're saying this stuff out loud. They're saying we need to depopulate the earth. And then people say, oh, well, that's just silly talk. Well, no, they really mean that, and they're trying to find means to do it.
Ken, isn't that genocide?
Well, it would be if it was everyone in a particular.
100. So half 150 million is not enough to call it genocide.
No,
you see what I'm saying?
I think they want it to be like 2 billion people.
Pick another
3
word.
billion people.
Genocide, bad word. Pick another word.
Whatever.
Mass murder.
Yeah. Well, that would be good. Yeah.
Sorry. I was telling my wife last night, because our wives came, and Caddy and Jessica just sat in the corner and talked all night, and it was great.
Right.
But Jessica was like, yeah, the place is beautiful. I said, yeah, the only thing is I got to stop banging on the counter.
And you talk with your hands. So that typical Italian thing, your hands are always moving.
When I said to her, I got to stop, I said, when I bang the counter, it sounds really bad on the radio. And she goes, yeah, and you bang a lot. You do it a lot. When you get mad, you hit it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't realize that. So sorry about that. So anyway, getting back to John Kerry, they won't say we have to kill people. No. But they say we have to depopulate.
Right.
Don't use the word depopulate like it sounds some flowery, nice word.
We talk about it all the time, Vic. Democrats are masters at the words, at the narrative. And they don't want to say, well, we want to kill people. They're going to say, well, we need to depopulate the world.
It's so stupid. They're so stupid.
They say the same thing about meat. They say, well, we need an alternative. We need a meat alternative. Well, you know what that means? Bugs, number one. Protein, high. We need an alternative for high protein, bugs, and manufactured meat. You know that new manufactured
lab
meat? Lab meat. Would you eat that crap?
No.
I'm never going to knowingly get that in my body.
I still don't know what is their end game with this save the world crap. You know what I mean? What is their end game? So you get rid of the farmers. We all eat bugs and plants.
Power.
But for what?
Power.
Total communism?
Yeah, total power.
Well, say that.
What they want is a Hunger Games style power grab.
Oh, my God.
That's all this is, Vic. It has nothing to do. You know what climate change is to them? It's a means. It is not what they're saying it is. They don't believe in climate change. The left lies. That's their whole modus operandi.
So when is somebody on our side going to say, hey, wait a minute. Ice caps are still there. The world hasn't ended. The seas haven't risen When is somebody going to say that you guys are wrong?
Well, we've got a 50-year list of things they say were going to happen.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
All right. Can we go long?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Can we play number 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Donald John Trump in Coralville, Iowa.
But no matter how hateful and corrupt the communists and criminals we're fighting against may be, and they are vicious, vicious people that I believe hate our country, you must never forget this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. This is your home, this is your heritage, and your American liberty is your God-given.
Right.
Right.
They cut it off.
Right.
But this is what they think, though, Vic. No, you're wrong. You don't own this land. This land is owned by the government. The government is the one that designates when you can own or rent, where you can go, where you cannot go. The social credit score thing, the digital economy, the digital currency, that stuff is bad.
Yeah. Can we do one more?
Yeah.
Okay, go. Number 6.
Number 6.
And our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots and voter ID. Very simple. One-day voting, paper ballots, voter ID. But until then, you have to get out and you have to vote. Please get out and vote. Pretend we're 1 point behind instead of 35 points up. The more we win by, the more we have a voice.
And a mandate.
Think of it that way.
Yeah.
You got to get out and vote. Even if you think we're going to win, who knows? You know, sometimes polls are wrong. They got to really be wrong. That would be record setting. But you got to get out and vote.
Do not be lulled to sleep by these good poll numbers, you know.
Right.
Get out and vote is absolutely right. And vote for Donald John Trump. Hashtag 45 and 47. We need him to fix the country. Not because we like him, because he'll fix the country.
Right.
So don't you worry, okay? You vote and hold on, because he's coming.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. President. Hashtag 45 and 47.
Yep.
It's what this country needs to survive. Oh, I'm glad I got to talk over this. This is Alan Toussaint's boogie-woogie Cajun kind of version of White Christmas, and I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So before we go to break, I've been meaning to say this all week. We need somebody really rich, like Donald Trump. Somebody really, really rich. I'm talking multimillionaire, billionaire, to help out the cause of Queers for Palestine. Okay. Because they're Queers for Palestine. I want somebody really rich to buy plane tickets for them, so they can go and show their support for Palestine in Palestine.
One way.
Let's send them there. Well, it's all you'll need. One-way tickets, all you'll need, because it'll be a flight there, and then the flight from the top of the building to the ground.
Yeah.
And not that I want to say anything happen to anybody, but let them understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Ken, they don't know what they're saying.
They don't.
These kids get caught up in, free Palestine.
Yep.
River to the sea. That sounds like fun. Yeah, let's say that.
It's fashionable. You know, it's fashionable to wear those scarves that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. They don't know what they mean.
Okay, I'm going to try to say a word here. Fascistinable. Not fashionable. It's fascist.
Fascistinable. Fascistinable.
Fascistable. I don't know. But I do know that the Wheel of Audio Clips is next to close up our week on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Follow us on Rumble at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
The name's Francis Sawyer. But everybody calls me Psycho. Any of you guys call me Francis, and I'll kill you.
Whoosh.
And I don't like nobody touching my stuff. So just keep your meat hooks off. If I catch any of you guys in my stuff, I'll kill you.
Whoosh.
On Newstalk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
The latest in the Trump lawfare saga with Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation at 425. What should the Missouri legislature's priorities be in 2024? Patrick Ishmael, Show Me Institute, 525.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on Newstalk STL.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be Shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
So, you want Steph's Pizza, but you're in Lake St. Louis and it's just too far to go. Not anymore. Now you can feed that Steph's Pizza craving quickly and conveniently in Lake St. Louis. Same great menu with a new location. 111 Pond Fort Trail in Lake St. Louis. Steph's Pizza in the Chesterfield Valley on Long Road, in St. Peter's on Jungerman, and now in Lake St. Louis. Check them out at Steph'sPizza.com because tonight's a good night for Steph's Pizza.
Vincent's Jewelers carries a full selection of lab-grown diamonds and jewelry containing lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamonds are a great alternative to natural mined diamonds. They have the same physical, chemical characteristics of a traditional diamond, beauty, durability you want, but at a 70 to 90% discount. See them in person at Vincent's and at VincentsJewelers.com. VincentsJewelers.com.
The Republican Party, City of St. Louis, extends its deepest thanks to Attorney General Andrew Bailey for the awaited report on Kim Gardner. Attorney General Bailey, in a city where every heartbeat matters, you've been the steady hand guiding us back to safety. Your persistent hard work and dogged pursuit of justice have begun to paint a new picture of hope and security in the city of St. Louis. To read the news article, full report, and executive summary, go to stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
When you help create a Make-A-Wish experience for children like me, you create a turning point in our treatment and recovery. And suddenly, the joy of childhood that we've lost within reach. Right now, there are over 600 kids in our region, just like me, who are waiting for their wish. Help us receive a wish by texting the word WISH to 243725. Thank you for transforming lives one wish at a time.
Hey, Columbo here with a great holiday offer from the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Just mention the Columbo special when you book a cleaning in the month of December, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $50 off your air duct cleaning. We trust Zero Res because they are simply the best when it comes to cleaning any surface in your home. And just remember to mention the Columbo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
News commentary.
It's shaping up to be one of the busiest holiday traveling seasons. And speaking of shape, if you're too large to fit in one seat, Southwest will gift you a full row to spread out your extra self. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hi, Dr. Ron Paul here. The Fed creates and pops bubbles using interest rate manipulation. Why put the value of your IRA or 401k at their mercy? This is why I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To get a free info kit from Birch Gold, text the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to 989898. Do it now and protect your savings.
Air travel has been somewhat miserable for the last 4 years, but Southwest Airlines is working to change that. Well, for some people, if you take up 2 or even 3 seats, you might be eligible to have those extra seats for free. As a part of their passengers of size inclusion policy, larger passengers have the option of purchasing just 1 seat, but if it's determined that a second or third seat is needed, that passenger will be accommodated with a complimentary additional seat or 2. Customers can also pay for extra seats in advance and then contact Southwest for a refund. You know what? This is a load of crap. Those of us who fit in 1 seat buy 1 seat and we get 1 seat, but those who spill over into multiple seats, will they just get them for free? I don't think so. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Being the guy who's pushing them out.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
You know what, Ken?
What, Vic?
Joe Biden would lose a debate for that baby.
Yes, he would.
You know? That's how gone he is. Completely gone. And why don't we when I say we, I mean the Republican Party, I guess. We're not part of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But why don't those Republicans over there, why don't they stick with things like, why aren't they absolutely insisting on Joe Biden take a cognitive test when they made Trump take a cognitive test? And by the way, he said, sure, I'll do it. And he nailed it. He aced it.
100%. Yeah, I don't know how Americans can't see that Joe Biden needed a cognitive test on January 20th of 2021. He really did.
Why is the Republican Party not insisting on that?
That's because the Republican Party is weak, Vic. I'm not a part of the Republican Party.
No, and I don't want to think. I'm glad you said that, because I don't want people to think I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just want a country that is free. That's all I want. Liberty,
I respect
justice for all.
There are people in the Republican Party that I really respect, statewide and federally. But there are so many of these people that just aren't getting things done that they should be. Like that, for example. That should have been a demand that we're not moving forward with this budget until you get a cognitive test.
Why aren't we doing that?
Well, that's because we should be. This is here's the thing. Donald Trump is going to want to do some things in this government to really cut costs, to really attack what's going wrong with this country, including something like that possibly, where it's like, demand it and make it happen. Don't just say, well, we are for. No, you have to do it. And that's what Trump wants to do. And people are afraid of that.
Yeah.
People are afraid of this apple cart being disturbed.
Why are they afraid of it? What are they up to?
They're just afraid.
What are they up to?
Well, some people are just afraid of change. Some people are just afraid. Okay, look, I live my life. You're talking about changing the government. Hey, you're uprooting me.
Yeah.
And it's not, what it's doing is it's going to make it better, but they just don't see it and they're afraid.
Well, have a little foresight, for God's sake.
Have faith.
All right, let's do it. Come on. Friday thing here.
Audio clips!
It's America's favorite game show, The Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Modulin, very much. Thank you. Studio audience, thank you for coming out today. Oh, ladies, calm down. I know I'm handsome, but my God.
New haircut.
All right, thank you. Oh, it is the haircut. All right, so it's the Wheel of Audio Clips. We take all the clips that we played all week. Ken puts them on the wheel. We spin it, and wherever it lands is what we do. Can I just say one quick thing before we start?
Yeah.
Right now, Melania Trump is speaking at a naturalization ceremony. I thought the Trumps hated immigrants.
Yeah. And she speaks probably every language that they're going to be using there today.
And how great is it that she's there and Jill is not?
Exactly.
And Joe is not. Oh, yeah, come on in, but once you're in, we don't care. At least Melania's here for people who did it the right way.
Right.
Raised her hand and swore to be good people. I love her. I got to tell you. Melania, love her.
You're
all right.
Awesome.
So let's get going here. Let's spin the wheel and see what we're going to do. Ken, spin that wheel. Let's do it. Sometime this month. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's see. I don't see Trump on the wheel. That doesn't make me happy. Well, we just heard a bunch of Trump, but you can never have too much Trump. This is an interesting piece of audio. This says Ken Mashup. Let's do it.
Is the president okay with his son defying a congressional subpoena?
I hope that the committee goes after them and holds them accountable.
Should they be prosecuted by the
I
Justice
do,
Department?
yes.
So just to clear things up there, that was Joe Biden in 2021.
Yeah, right.
And he was being asked about Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon. Yeah, they should be prosecuted for defying a subpoena. And now all of a sudden, it's fine.
And the reporter was actually asking Karine Jean-Pierre, and Joe Biden stepped in and said, wait a minute, I'll take this question.
See what Ken did there? That's awesome. He made it sound like that first person was talking to the president about Hunter, but he wasn't. But that was good, Ken.
Thank you.
Well done. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's do something. No squad members, okay? I know I see a couple of squad members up there on the wheel, and I don't want to hear from any of them, especially that skinny little bartender. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be
the savant.
Oh my God.
The Mensa person.
Did I just jinx us?
Yeah.
AOC.
That not only is the committee not allowing Hunter Biden to testify publicly, but they have not called a single witness, a single first-hand witness to any of their allegations. They haven't allowed anybody to testify publicly because they do not have a single witness to any of their alleged allegations. They don't.
What are alleged allegations? What does that mean?
I don't know. An alleged allegation.
Now
it's an allegation.
I closed my eyes listening to that. Do you know what she didn't do?
What?
Was the vocal fry thing in that.
She's really mad.
Exactly. So when she's among friends, she likes she's among friends. So not one witness, Ken. Not Tony Bobolinsky, not Devin Archer, not whistleblowers, not those guys.
No. Those aren't witnesses.
Something has to be done because they look down on us as conservatives,
right?
MAGA as scum of the earth.
Right.
And they're actually the scum of the earth.
Yeah. They lie. By default, I say this a lot, I know, but by default, they are absolute liars. They have to lie at the jump and then go back and recollect everything else that they're talking about.
Liar! Liar! Spin the wheel. Let's go. It looks like the liar edition of the Wheel of Audio so far because Joe's full of it, AOC's full of it, and I wonder if it would... Wow. The liar of all liars. This is Democrat Representative Dan Goldman claiming that Republicans are moving forward with impeachment because Hunter, his wrongdoings have nothing to do with Joe. Go ahead.
And they have shown no connection to Joe Biden whatsoever, which is the only person in their jurisdiction and the person they're trying to impeach. And it is a complete farce and a sham for them to go forward with an impeachment investigation because of Hunter Biden's wrongdoing that has no connection to Joe Biden. And that is what this is.
I say again, so no Bobolinsky, no Devin Archer,
no checks,
various whistleblowers, no checks,
no shell companies,
no gigantic mansions on a senator's salary. No, nothing whatsoever. That Dan Goldman, I mean, I get it. He's a lawyer, so he knows how to take a conversation and make you believe. You know, it happens every day in courtrooms around the world, around the country. And now he's trying to get the country to believe that there's not one scintilla of evidence.
Right.
He didn't want to use scintilla because Hakeem stole that word from
right.
Hakeem Jeffries, Thunder Stealer. And, okay, so Dan Goldman, this is not even being a wise ass, and this is not being anything except, and I'm not being an exaggerator. When you hear Dan Goldman speak, guaranteed it's not true.
Right.
It's not true. All right, that's all the time we have for the Wheel of Audio Clips. This is Vic Porcelli saying, please help control the liberal population. Have your liberal spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. I love Fridays, Ken. I love Fridays. You know why?
Because it's Friday.
And the Saturday's next.
And Saturday,
Sunday.
yeah.
And this week, Monday. I'll be off Monday. Ken will be here with who? Nick Schroer?
Yes.
Nick Schroer. Be good. Don't be too good, please. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning. Have a great...
Sure, you have the record player on at night.
Shut up, Joe. Have a great weekend. And Kenny and Nick will see you Monday morning, 9 o'clock, and we'll be back on Tuesday on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home and whoosh.
I have a great whiskey suggestion. Stolock Whiskey. created using natural limestone filtered water from the Ozark Highlands, aged in Missouri oak. Next time, get a bottle. But if you're going to share with friends, you better get at least 2 bottles. Stolock has the Larry Connors seal of approval. See the full story at Stolock.com. Stolock, Stowloch, from Stone Ledge Distillery.
Francis Chick Power.
With an inside story behind a Christmas song.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
The song was written in July of 1945 by Mr. Sammy Kahn and Mr. Julie Stein. Although the song is recognized as one of the great Christmas standards, it was actually written to be a winter's love song. Here's Mr. Sammy Kahn.
Every song I write seems to have an anecdote, especially Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. The song was written with Mr. Julie Stein in the Edwin H. Morris Music Company in Hollywood on Vine Street on the hottest day of the year. It was so sweltering hot that I turned to Julie Stein and said, "Why don't we get out of here and go down to the beach and cool off?" And he said, "Why don't we stay here and write a winter song?" I went to the typewriter, and the first line I typed was, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful." And I type in a cadence, da 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 da. But the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Always try to finish on a romantic note. I must tell you quite candidly, the first one who had that song was Frank Sinatra. It was brought to him first. He was in a recording studio with that song first, and he threw it away. It was then taken to Vaughn Monroe.
From the musicalsoundreview.com, I'm Francis Chick Powers.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Ackerman Toyota has the 2024 models. You're going to be impressed. Check them out in person at Ackerman Toyota, Hampton and Interstate 44. In fact, you've got to see the 2024 Toyota Sequoia. Very impressive. This is the time to buy and get top dollar for your vehicle. Looking for pre-owned? Ackerman Toyota can also help you. Ackerman Toyota at Hampton and 44. AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
KLGY HD3 Clay, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The U.S. and Israel have reportedly discussed a timetable for scaling back intense combat operations in the war against Hamas, even though they agree the overall fight will take months. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has met with Israeli officials, and he met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas about the besieged enclave's post-war future. The United States says Russia's Vladimir Putin is not being honest about hostage negotiations. White House correspondent Greg Clugston with that report.
Putin said Moscow is in dialogue with the U.S. on the issue of bringing home jailed Americans Paul Whelan and Evan Gershkovich. The White House said that much is true, but John Kirby with the National Security Council said
he's absolutely wrong that his government did not rebuff a serious proposal. There was one put forward, and they rebuffed it.
A State Department spokesman said the U.S. has put multiple offers on the table, but they were rejected every time by the Russian government. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Also at townhall.com, production at U.S. factories increased in November. Correspondent Ken Lorman with a report.
The increase was likely propelled by a partial rebound in motor vehicles that followed the end of strikes by the United Auto Workers Union against Detroit's Big Three automakers. The Federal Reserve says manufacturing output rose 0.3% last month. Data for October was revised lower.
Manufacturing, which accounts for 11.1% of the economy, continues to be hamstrung by higher borrowing costs. Wall Street is higher, hanging around its record highs and on track to close out its longest weekly winning streak in some 6 years. The Dow is up 30 points now, and the NASDAQ adding 67 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast for your Friday. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Another mild, dry day with a high of 59 degrees. Look for scattered rain to move in overnight tonight. We'll drop down to 43 degrees. And then for your Saturday, scattered light rain is likely. It's going to be a cloudy and cooler day with a high of 49 degrees, but Sunday looks dry, partly cloudy with a high of 48. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
With this gorgeous fall weather upon us, I couldn't think of a better place than to hang out anytime during the week than Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge, Missouri, located just 10 minutes from 270 and Gravois, the go-to St. Louis sports bar and grill experience. 30 big screen TVs, a full bar, fantastic food, including the famous Johnny Dow's chicken wings, sunset patio with the Cattleman's Grill, train station bar, live music throughout the week with local musicians, a huge game room. They're open 7 days a week. You can check out the speaker of the house table on your next visit. For more information, visit them at jhideout.com. That's jhideout.com. Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge.
We all know the healthcare system's broken. It's not about you. It's about the code, the bill, the 7-minute appointment. Hi, it's Dr. Randy Tobler, and I've developed a better way that restores old-fashioned values with a holistic approach to your healthcare. That means affordable, available, no copay or deductible primary care. And with my 30-plus years as an OBGYN, there's added value for women and couples. Whether it's a new or nagging problem, you need a second look at a troubling diagnosis, or simply want a trusting, relationship-based healthcare experience, give us a look at Body of Health Direct Primary Care. Our mission is to provide exceptional, accessible, and truly affordable care where the focus is on you, not insurance denial and cookbook medicine experts. And with your membership, there's a number of perks, including hundreds of free meds, in-office ultrasound, common diagnostic tests, and more. Interested in seeing me or learning more about healthcare the way it ought to be? Schedule an appointment or a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
Planning a move? I encourage you to call McGuire Moving. And they not only do moving, they can provide you portable storage. They'll bring a storage container to you. You fill it at your time and convenience. They'll pick it up, move it where you want it. Here's their phone number, 314-241-0600. 241-0600. Website, McGuireMoving.com. McGuireMoving.com. Locally owned.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
I don't know where I would get the truth if it weren't for you.
Live and local.
Welcome to the People's Republic of America stand. Here comes another roller coaster, another circus.
This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
So I taped my interview with Tucker last night. It was awesome. You guys are going to love it. It's going to launch on the podcast channel Monday and Tuesday. We went so late. I feel really bad. His team texted Guy and they said, hey, he's got to be out by 5:15. Hard out, 5:15 p.m. and we had started a little late at like 4:06 or 7 or something like that. And we were having such a good time in this interview, me and him, that Guy just kind of let it go. And I was looked up, it was like 5:38. And I think he had dinner reservations or something like that. So I hope he didn't miss it. But if you want to catch it, we'll be airing some of it here on radio, of course, as well. So don't miss out on that. It was a really good interview. There on the podcast channel, rumble.com/Bongino on Monday and Tuesday, part 1 and 2. And we hit up a lot of stuff. And I think the part of the interview that was the most interesting, because Tucker and I have never sat down for a long form interview. And Jonathan, it's so funny. If you were just in my podcast chat, we go live 4 hours every day. We do 11 to 12 on the podcast, and then we do 12 to 3 to radio. I hope you stay for all 4 hours. I asked everyone for a favor. I asked everyone to break the chat. We want to try to break the Rumble chat to weed out bugs before the election season. Jim, did we break that chat or what? We tore that thing to pieces. Oh, it broke. We broke that thing to pieces. Shredded. I just got on the phone with Chris from Rumble. He's like, thank you so much, man. That's how much we care about, customer support here. We want to make sure we weed that stuff out. But getting back to what I was saying, I asked Tucker at one point, I said, listen, man, what do you think's going to happen if Trump pulls this off in that period from election day to January, November to January, where he's the president-elect? And the answer was crazy. I'll play some of it on the radio show. It'll be on the podcast next week. It's so worth your time because these people, they have no emergency brake, folks. They are going to absolutely lose their minds. They're going to lose their marbles. But all week we've been talking about this. Are they trying to tell us something kind of thing? I mean, are you guys into that? This is the kind of thing I'm a little hesitant to talk about this. Let me just be clear, because I did a poll on the podcast earlier and I asked everyone, I said, I don't want to scare you guys, so maybe help me out on Facebook, comment. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm really not. Like, go live your life, do your thing. No reason to panic. Panic kills. Even if, candidly, even if I knew the world was going to end next week, you're still going to get up in the morning and eat tomorrow, and you got to live your life. You have your kids. You've got sunsets and sunrises. You've got some good movie you want to watch, a college basketball game you may want to see. I mean, you still got to go live your life. Don't panic. Panic kills, and panic's for morons. It just doesn't help. I just am an astute observer of the preparedness environment out there because, stuff kind of worries me a little bit. And you've got all these Hollywood folks who are connected talking about the end of the world, doing end of the world movies. You got all these rich people building these bunkers. You got people cashing out, billions in stock. I'll show you what I mean. We've got the receipts for stuff coming up in a minute. But the reason I get concerned about this, not panicky, but concerned, is my last line of work, right? You notice you pick up on this really quick. You're hanging around presidents and vice presidents and foreign digs and everything and heads of state. And folks, nobody can keep a secret in the government. I hope you understand that. I wish it were the case, but they just can't. People in the government are big mouths. They can't keep a secret. Very few of them do. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. So if you're at, say, one of these foo-foo, ritzy, foie gras type parties and whatever, like the prime minister of Kraplakistan is there, they're talking to people. And it's a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal thing. They all got big mouths. But they're hanging around people who typically have big money and big connections. So my humble advice, IMHO, in my humble opinion, you read the stories critically when you see people with money and connections doing stuff like this, i.e. Yahoo Finance yesterday. Do Warren Buffett's latest investment moves signal recession, quote, being right around the corner? Experts weigh in. Warren Buffett sold $30 billion in stock. $30 billion. Why is he selling $30 billion in stock? What the hell's going on? Why is there a movie coming out about the Civil War? Why is Obama talking about the end of the world? Like, what's going on here? Why is Mark Zuckerberg, according to the New York Post, building $100 million of a Hawaii compound with a massive underground bunker? Is he selling tickets? Can I get a spot in there? What's that? Because that's a good point. Jim's applying Occam's razor because he can. I don't know. I just find it awfully strange that I'm afraid an Archduke Ferdinand moment may be right around the corner. Here, Jim, cue up for me cut 2. Did you hear what happened just a few hours ago in Ukraine? There was this deputy for this local government in Ukraine. He's not Russian. He's Ukrainian. He walks into this room. If you want to see the video, it's on my podcast all over the internet, but you'll hear the audio here. He walks in the room. Nobody thinks anything of it because everybody's seen this guy before. It's a small room. It's not some big, elaborate hall. And he just casually, out of his 2 pockets, pulls out 2 grenades and detonates them in the room. 1 person was killed, 26 were injured, apparently 6 more in critical condition. I want you to listen to the audio. This just happened this morning. Check this out. Thanks to Travis and Zach. They messaged me on Facebook. They said, listen, you got good instincts on this stuff. Keep telling us about it. I promise I won't, beat it up, especially with next week being Christmas. I mean, listen, it is what it is. But I don't know, man. The Archduke Ferdinand moment always scares me, especially given the fact that the Chinese military and the U.S. military aren't talking. And there's just all these connected people who seem to know something. I remember these parties. I told you a story yesterday about, when I was a really young agent, I was a post-stander for Bill Clinton when he was president. They go out and mix and mingle with people, and you would be surprised how much stuff they say. And it may not be them giving away technically like classified information, but if you know what to listen for, whenever a president talks, candidly, folks, you're probably hearing classified information. You just have to listen to how they talk. Because they know things. They get these briefs every morning. And that's why I always get kind of freaked out about these Hollywood folks. I know they're trying to tell stories for tickets and to sell tickets to movies. And the more hysterical, the better. I get it. I'm not naive to that. But they hang out with a lot of these liberal politicians who get these briefs. And where do you think they get a lot of these ideas from? I mean, you think it's a coincidence that in that Obama movie, right, the director of the movie says, yeah, Obama's scared out of me? Turns out there's another movie coming out about the end of the world. Yes, another one. You're like, what the hell? I'm saying the same thing. There's this new movie coming out. It's called ISS, about the International Space Station. And the gist of the movie is this. Nuclear war breaks out on Earth with Russians and Americans on the International Space Station. And the Americans get an order to take the station by any means necessary. And they're like, well, the Russians must have got that order too. And then they start killing each other. Here, listen to about a minute of this trailer. Check this out. Tell me these Hollywood people, they're onto something here. Check this out.
From all of us down here in Mission Control, welcome to space.
The Russians always knock 3 times. I think it's just a superstition.
Listening to the winds of change.
I mean, I've seen pictures, but this is...
We don't talk politics. Here we're one.
Hey, guys.
Wait a minute, what the hell is going on down there?
Whoa.
We gotta get up now, guys. Let's get out.
Oh, my God.
Houston, do you read?
War has broken out below. And we were told to take the ISS by any means necessary.
If we got orders from our government to take control,
what do you suggest we do now?
the Russians got the same orders as us. And they just struck first.
Struck first?
What the heck, man? They're obsessed with this idea of at the end of the world. What is going on with these people? Who are they talking to? Why is Zuckerberg building a $100 million Hawaii compound with a massive underground bunker? Why'd Warren Buffett just sell $30 billion in stock? Listen, the answers could be simple. No, again, there's no reason to over-dramatize it. Maybe Buffett thinks there's a recession coming up. He wants to be cash heavy. Who the hell knows? And Jim just said it. Maybe Zuckerberg's building a $100 million Buckerberg. Talk about a Freudian slip. Maybe Buckerberg's building a $100 million compound because of Occam's razor. Because he can. What the hell else are you going to spend $100 billion on? I don't know. I just look at the signs, man. I look at the signs and I try to process it and give you the best show available, even if it involves telling you some stuff that may be uncomfortable. All right, I got a lot more to get to. Let's leave that behind. This Hunter Biden stuff is just blowing up right now, and this is the stuff that's important because I told you yesterday, if there's not going to be any legal consequences for Hunter Biden, which appears to be the case, there doesn't appear to be any significant legal consequences for this guy because the DOJ is corrupt, then you're damn straight we're going to make sure there are political consequences in this upcoming election. I got a bunch of stuff on that coming up. We'll be right back.
Bongino. Larry Elder here, and I want to talk to you for a minute about 100% drug-free Relief Factor. You know, we all get a little bit older every day, and we all experience aches and pains. Many people even struggle just to get out of bed in the morning and face the world. If you're one of them, then you could be exactly the person Relief Factor was made to help. Let me tell you about Catherine in Pennsylvania. She had shoulder aches, and I mean the kind that were ruining her life. She decided to give Relief Factor a try because she'd heard so many of us on the radio singing its praises. And guess what? After only a few weeks, her pain was nearly gone. No side effects, just relief. Many of my friends and I take Relief Factor every single day. Hundreds of thousands of others have tried it, and about 70% have gone on to order more. Your first step to becoming pain-free just might be to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference.
Dan Bongino.
This week on News Talk STL.
They have not, even their own witnesses that they brought forward, been able to find a nexus between any of the allegations of Hunter Biden and the president.
We have a significantly bigger problem. Joe Biden on day one made border policy the way it is.
If Joe Biden stays on the ticket, it could be the very best night for Republicans. News, analysis, and opinion. We are in a stronger position in the House this time than the last 2 cycles when we won. 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
We're talking with our great friends, Rob and Kathy Connor from Connor Roofing. What about these storms that hit us all the time? What's going on with that and the roofs?
We haven't seen a storm season like this in years. Trees are falling on people's houses. We've never seen this much. It's just crazy.
I'm not getting on the ladder. I'm afraid of heights. That's why I trust you guys.
And Vic, if you see roofing companies at your neighbors' houses, give us a call, because if they have storm damage, it's possible that you do as well at 314-375-7475.
Or ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
What is a Wow Diamond? Wow Diamonds are named for their brilliance. Newstetter's Fine Jewelers carries Wow Diamonds. Our team at Newstetter's Fine Jewelers will show customers how the cut of the diamond impacts the brilliance of the diamond.
Newstetter's Fine Jewelers for Wow Diamonds are located at 2961 Doherty Ferry Road. That's at Big Bend and Doherty Ferry, and online at wowdiamonds.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
The left, for months now,
one by one,
have been begging for a civil war.
every caller gets their say.
We got to stop and not put these officers in situations where they feel like they have to overreact.
And whether you agree
We have to assume some responsibility, because I'm a black man.
or disagree,
I think you're politically wrong.
I do not need athletes to tell me.
you're invited to join the conversation.
Thank you for canceling all your games. Now I get it.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Tommy John. When you give Tommy John, your loved ones are that much more comfortable, so they can do everything better. This softness season, why not give the gift of comfort to everyone on your list, including yourself, with new Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of five-star reviews, giving Tommy John's a holiday tradition. 97% of women and men love getting the gift of Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics like me. One of them raves fantastic, a Christmas gift that went so right she loves the pajamas. Give the gift of comfort and softness for the colder months, and why not treat yourself? Everything's covered by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free, guaranteed. Shop TommyJohn.com/Bongino right now and get 30% off site-wide. Order now so your gifts arrive before the holidays. 30% off site-wide for a limited time. I just ordered some, actually. Ordered the baby blues. Order them at TommyJohn.com/Bongino. TommyJohn.com/Bongino. Visit TommyJohn.com for details.
My heart is crying, crying.
He's going, DJ Jazzy Jim knows what to do. He's like, there's only one way to break the doomsday talk. Little Jackie. Here it is.
Just say you will, say you will.
Yes. You're right. That is the only way to break the doomsday talk. And hey, man, we still live in the greatest country on earth with the greatest military. You got your family. You got God. You got Jesus. You got all kinds of good stuff out there. World's a great place. Just be prepared. That's it. And download a bunch of music. In case it breaks me, you can listen to Jackie Wilson all day. You don't got to worry about going to work. Maybe it won't be so bad. Who knows? Say you will. Love Jackie Wilson. And yes, we know about. Thank you to Bobby, who signed his, but his son Bobby looks exactly like him. Signed a nice thing for me over there. It's sitting right there. One of our listeners gave it to us. Folks, the problem with what's going on right now is I don't trust the people in charge if the goes down. If it goes down, like Cypress Hill said, you better be ready. Like Be Real, remember Be Real? And then the guy in the back, I forget the other guy's name. What's he? He's got like the big bass voice there. You remember that song? Well, when it goes down, you better be ready. The problem is you're not going to know because everybody lies to you. And I have never seen liars like this administration. I haven't. I'm not going to tell you Republican presidents don't lie. They lie all the time. Every Republican lies. So do Democrats. But as I've often said to you, it's not that they lie that particularly bothers me. I'm used to politicians lying. That's kind of like their trade craft. What bothers me about the Biden team is they lie about everything all the time. They are easily the most dishonest administration we've ever seen. I mean, if you thought Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, was bad, at least Bill Clinton told the truth about some other stuff. Like once in a while, the truth creeped out. The era of big government's over. He would say, and then they actually tried. The spending levels as a percentage of GDP under Bill Clinton, he's right. We're actually lower than most Republican presidents. That's just a fact. You can go look it up. I think we were at 18.5, 19% of GDP. We're close to 21 or something now. That's just a fact. This guy doesn't tell the truth about anything. Ever. Do you know how many different iterations of the Biden business with his kid story they've been? I asked producer Jim yesterday for a favor. He came through in the clutch. I said, Jim, we have time for this, right, Jim? Yeah, we got time. I want you to play this. This is Jim, producer Jim. This is his work here. A montage of about 1 minute of Joe Biden's changing definitions of what business with his son sounds like and looks like. Check this out.
Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
The president was never in business with his son.
A CNN review of the laptop data, as well as other public material, shows that Joe Biden did interact with some of his son's associates while serving as vice president, though it's unclear exactly what was discussed.
Now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello. And he would, talk about the way he described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was.
Hunter put his father on speakerphone with clients and former business associates roughly 20 times over 10 years, including when Biden was vice president, to try to impress them.
My father was not financially involved in my business. I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters, and I've never discussed them because they know where I have to do my job, and that's it, and they have to make their own judgment.
Thank you, Producer Jim, for such fine work. I so deeply appreciate it. So does the audience. Now, I used this story earlier because it made sense. I was talking on the pod about this. I'm trying to think of a way to describe the Joe Biden approach to this, which is so in your face and is such an obvious lie. And the only thing I can think of is, you all remember that movie Grease? It was like, what, early 80s, 70s? I don't really remember when. My parents didn't let us watch movies with any nudity when we were kids, for obvious reasons. It'd be like weirdo or anything. So when Grease came on one day, remember the Blue Moon scene? Blue Moon. Remember the kids that like mooning the camera? This was like a major scandal in the Bongino house. We were like, whoa, what are those butts? Well, I couldn't believe it. Like, we didn't even know that existed on screen. This is the Biden approach. What do you mean, the Blue Moon? He's just showing you his ass. He's like, look, I'm going to moon you. You're like, well, what does that have to do with you doing business with your son? Nothing. I just am doing it because I can. And it's funny.
I was afraid. I was scared. Everybody wanted me to have an abortion.
Day after day after day, young women, scared young women, who don't think they have options are choosing abortion. Preborn's network of clinics have rescued over 200,000 babies. The majority of the women who come to their clinics are being pressured to abort. Preborn seeks these women out before they make the ultimate choice and introduces them to the life growing inside of them through a free ultrasound. And we are the fuel that allows Preborn to offer these young women free ultrasounds. Once she hears that heartbeat and sees that precious life, the majority of the time she will choose life. $28, that's what an ultrasound costs. $140 provides 5 ultrasounds.
And now, through a match, your gift is doubled, saving twice as many babies' lives.
Let's save some babies' lives today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that, because abortion doesn't stop, so we can't stop either. To donate, dial pound 250 and say baby. That's pound 250 baby, or go to preborn.com/Bongino. That's preborn.com/Bongino.
Dan Bongino.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. French President Emmanuel Macron says he'll still consider talking with Russian President Vladimir Putin if it helps to forge a sustainable peace between Ukraine and Russia. Macron and Putin enjoyed a good working relationship before Russia invaded its neighbor in February 2022. A ballistic missile fired by Yemen's Houthi rebels has slammed into a cargo ship in the Red Sea near the strategic Bab al-Mandeb Strait. That followed another attack only hours earlier that struck a separate vessel. A small explosion at an electrical facility caused a momentary power outage in New York City. The brief outage just before midnight Thursday affected most of the city. The Dow had 37 points, and the NASDAQ is adding 69 points. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Make us part of your holiday this year with the Newstalk STL Family Christmas. We'll share personal stories and play our favorite Christmas songs starting Christmas Eve at 6 and Christmas morning at 6. Brought to you by Great Harvest Bread Company in Maplewood and Chasing Bucks Grub and Pub in Barnhart.
Tim Jones here to tell you it's officially landscape lighting season at Pro Outdoor. To see some of their incredible lighting work, visit their website, prooutdoor.com. They offer low-voltage landscape lighting that really makes your home stand out from your neighbors. If you're looking for accent lighting, path lighting, or wanting to expand your outdoor living space, or just looking for a little more security around your home, the team at Pro Outdoor are the ones to call. Pro Outdoor can take care of all your outdoor needs, including lawn fertilization, irrigation installation and service, as well as landscape lighting. They're offering some great end-of-year specials. Be sure to call them today. Schedule a consultation. That's prooutdoor.com.
Hey, Tim Jones here with Tony Colombo for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner at the Wallner Home Selling Team. If you're thinking about taking advantage of the market and selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now. Put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. Rodney and Jen have the experience and work ethic that sets them apart from all the rest. That's why they sell 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor and have so many qualified buyers right now. They'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. The results, Tony, speak for themselves.
That's right, Tim. In fact, I recently benefited from those results personally. My wife and I couldn't be happier with the job the Wallners did for us, selling our old home in less than 2 days for significantly more than we were asking for and finding us the perfect new home. Like so many others, we loved working with Rodney and Jen, the Wallner Home Selling Team with Berkshire Hathaway. So if you're thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
Colombo and Katie.
Joe Biden's White House Christmas video featuring tap dancers got mixed reviews. We'll talk to Gabe Pfeiffer and Ken Williams about this at 2:05 and get the weekend weather forecast with Steve Templeton.
Weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL. News, analysis, opinion. Newstalk STL.
Any questions? Call 844-4-the-USA to get the answers. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
The Jim's going right for the Cypress Hill. Of course, I have to mumble that because I don't think I do, actually. It's Friday, and Friday in December. Dude, I just got this message. Jim's. Dude, who's the board op at BAP? Scott? Is it Scott? Scott? Sean, can you check this with the FCC? I think Jim is purposefully really subverting the show. I'm convinced that the FCC said it was totally okay on Friday all right. He's saying he's going to buzz me, Sean. So just can you check in, Sean? Just do us a favor. Can I get a report on this? I was told that these emails are real, that we're allowed to do that. So. A little confused. But getting back to this is a very advanced theory. This is like Plato level stuff, so get ready. This is like Socrates level stuff if you watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I have a theory as to why Biden does this and lies about his business involvement with his son, despite, I don't even want to call it mounds of evidence, legions of evidence, universes of evidence. I mean, it's so overwhelming. It's not even beyond the reasonable doubt. It's like beyond the reasonable doubt that this guy's just dead to rights, guilty of an influence peddling scheme. The SARS, the texts, the pictures, the photographs, the business meetings, the business partners, the Bobolinsky testimony, the Poroshenko tapes, the emails, the laptop, the photos. The answers are right in front of you. So why does Biden go out and say, I did not have business relations with my son, Hunter Biden? And the answer I kind of said before the break, who was this? A couple, Randy W., he's a P1. He messages me a lot. He thinks that this is one of my greatest theories ever. Why? Why does he do it? Because he can. And he thinks it's funny. He doesn't care. No, he doesn't think it's fun. Really? Jim, have you've seen what you've seen the videos, right? Stumbled over my words there. When Biden's asked about this with his son and they yell the questions, about 2 out of every 10 times he laughs. He's like, he looks like that the Fire Marshal Bill guy, that Jim Carrey character from In Living Color. That's what he does. Have you seen it? It's all over the internet. He thinks it's funny. Why does Joe Biden lie about his business involvement with his son? The answer is because he can, and he thinks it's funny. We'll call this the Dan Bongino Blue Moon theory of the Biden administration. Remember Blue Moon from Greece? You know what I'm talking about, right? The moon scene, blue moon. The guy's like a moon in the camera. That's Biden. He's mooning you. If there was a video right now, I would do it. Paula would object, but I don't really care. I almost pulled one off in the podcast today. Really? Yeah. Show's that crazy. Paula be barging in the studio. Shut it down. Shut it down. It almost happened. Just a demo for you. I demo. This is what it looks like. Jim's like, we don't need that. I'm kidding, folks. Maybe, kind of. You never know with me. Am I kidding or not? Who the hell knows? Jim's like, I don't know either. Jim's looking at Mike like, oh, I'm not sure either. Is that an FCC thing too? That's actually legit. No, Sean's texting me right. He says that's okay. That's okay. As long as how you describe it matters. It's what you do is no problem. It's just how you describe it, right? Your mic is on, by the way. I can hear it. It's the Blue Moon theory. Biden is just mooning America. I've done all this business with my son. I may have done it when I was in the White House as vice president. I don't really care about what you think. Come on, Dan. There's no evidence he did business when he was in the White House. Oh, looky here. Just the news article by John Solomon. Look at this. Impeachment inquiry zeroes in on the origin of Hunter Biden's China deals while Joe Biden was vice president. Do you know what's crazy about this? This is actually the headline. Like, that's the actual headline of the piece. You want to hear the scam he tried to pull on you? The Joe Biden Blue Moon scam? Just shows you his ass. He don't care. Hey, look at this. Check this out. Why are we looking at your caboose, dude? Because I can, and I think it's funny. It's the same reason he lies to you about his business deals. Because he can, and he thinks it's funny. John Solomon's reporting that there are a couple IRS whistleblowers here. One of them, Gary Shapley. He told the House Ways and Means Committee that there were apparently these payments in March of 2017. So we know in March of 2017, he was obviously not the vice president, right? But he notes the significance of the March 2017 payment was that the withheld payment withheld payment from that Chinese company until then Vice President Biden was no longer in office. Oh, look at that. And they were kept from investigating those payments because they thought they were payments for work done while Joe Biden was the vice president. That's why would they stop them from looking into that? Why would they stop them from looking into that? Because they can. Are you guys? What do you guys do? Look at you. You guys are making me laugh. You see, Justin's up to no good on a podcast. He is actually putting a guy mooning someone in front of Joe Biden's face on it. Are you doing that? Is that me? Oh, yeah. But wow, that is me. Look at that. I don't know if this is going on the Clips channel or what he's doing here, but this podcast team has apparently gone off the deep end. Do you believe how juvenile this scam was? Speaking of juvenile, I know we should be commenting right now on this. It's a Friday show. I'm trying to get people out of the doomsday cult for a day, you know. Poor Kip left the show early. He's like, he don't want to hear about doomsday today. But think about this, right? This is how dumb and juvenile they were. Joe Biden's, I guess like his political people, you know, when you leave office, you still keep a staff. And they must have said to him, hey, Joe, here's the thing. Remember all that stuff you did for Hunter when you were the vice president? He was taking money from China. Yeah, don't worry. We're okay because you're only going to get paid for it now. We delayed the payments. If you don't. Now, Jim, you know how we mess around with the FCC stuff, but we actually know the rules. Like it's a joke for the show, obviously. The Biden team, I think, actually did this. Like they came in, Jim, and here's an example of a meeting. Hey, Jim, I got an idea. So, payola on the radio is illegal. Like I can't take like a $10,000 check and promote whatever, a mug company and not tell people. You can't just call payola like it's illegal. Jim, here's a good idea. I got a scam for you. Here's what we'll do. This is going to go over perfect. We're going to take a bunch of fake ads, but don't worry, Jim, it's good because they're not going to pay us till we leave the radio deal. Is that okay? Jim, can you check with Sean and the BAP guy? It's perfectly okay. That's okay. Of course that's not okay. Of course that's not okay. But this is the former vice president of the United States. They were like, oh, don't worry about it. When he's vice president, just don't cash the check till later. As if that... Jim, imagine where else those rules would apply. So just imagine you're like some disgruntled husband. You're like, hey, I'd like to pay you to do some really bad stuff to my wife. Oh, but don't worry, it's all legal if we get a divorce and I pay you later. What, you'd be like, no, dude. Like the murder stuff, you're not going to get away. That's not how any of this works. But this is apparently how the Biden team thought they would get over on this. So I'm just helping you now because your liberal friends are going to say to you when the story changes, this is why I'm doing this here. The story's changed from he didn't know anything about Hunter's business to Joe knew about the business but wasn't involved, to knew about the business, was involved, but they only talked about the weather, to knew about the business, he may have talked with the business partners but didn't collect any money. Now the story's going to change. You ready, folks? Jim, I told you to flag it on the podcast. Flag it right now. The story going forward is now going to be, you ready, folks? Everyone on Facebook and in chat, ready to go here? The story going forward is going to be, okay, Joe Biden knew about the business, was involved in the business, and took money, but he didn't take money till after he left the White House as vice president. Jim, get ready. Flag that sucker right now. When it comes up, I want it instantly unflagged, and I want you to play this cut because I can so predict what the media is going to do. Why? Because they're predictable, and they're stupid, and we're not in this audience. That is going to be the next story. Guaranteed. And your response should be what? I just gave you the cheat sheet. Your response should be, well, if that's the case, why did an IRS whistleblower indicate in sworn testimony that, in fact, those payments that he received while out of office were actually for work he did while in office? Well, why is that? Oh, you don't have an answer for this. By the way, do we have a guest today? I didn't mention anything. No, okay, good. I didn't even ask you that. You should probably know that stuff. I got up late today, man. No, I didn't get up, in the morning late. I got up regular time, but I got up to the show late. There was 30 seconds to go. It's getting later and later. So if the show starts without me, don't panic, folks. Jim knows exactly what to do. He'll just cover it. He doesn't want to do that, but sometimes I just I'm like, oh man, there's a radio show going on. I do the prep work. I just sometimes forget. I get into a conversation with Paula downstairs about something. It's Friday, so it's date night. So I was talking about some other stuff. But that's for the Dan Bongino Unplugged show. That's going to be a lot of fun. You want to do that? Sometime I'll have to wait till the new year for that one. That we definitely can't do on the FCC rules. Would definitely not allow that. We'll have to refer you to the podcast on that one. But this make zero mistake here. This is the Joe Biden, we're mooning America approach. They are never going to admit they did anything wrong, and it doesn't matter the evidence. The good news on a Friday here for you is that the damage right now to Joe Biden's reputation is incalculable. And although I'm not convinced anything legal, because the DOJ right now is run by a bunch of hacks and political actors, while I'm not convinced there's going to be any legal penalty for Joe Biden for anything, you're damn right we're going to enact a political penalty. And ladies and gentlemen, December 14th, New York Post, I think that was yesterday, Biden's approval rating plunges to 33%. You understand this is one of the lowest approval ratings for a sitting first-term president in the history of modern polling. So for those on the Facebook and everywhere else who are like, nothing's happening, it is happening. Nothing legal is probably going to happen to the Biden team. Brothers and sisters, I'm with you. I get it. I am not anticipating a single thing is going to happen with the DOJ involving the Bidens because they're a protected class. They're Democrats. But it is our job to enact the political damage to a corrupt president that is never going to be held accountable by people who love this guy, no matter how corrupt he is. It's our job. It is our obligation to expose this guy and his endless litany of lies. That is what we do. That is our job. That is our purpose. Who are we? What do we do? Who are we? What do we do? We are conservatives. We are the enemy of the collectivist tyrants that have taken over our government. We have tools at our disposal. They're not the DOJ. The DOJ is not our tool. It's been weaponized to become a tool of insider secular progressives running our government into the ground. But we have tools too. We have votes. We have political power. We have local governments. We have governorships. We are not this meek group of sheep being led around by a shepherd. We are a bunch of sheepdogs, and we have our own wolves too. We're not meek. You just took this guy's approval rating to one of the lowest presidential approval ratings ever on record anywhere. You did that. No, I'm serious. You did that. You stayed on this story. You were on this story, hot on it from the start. And despite a bunch of swampy Republicans like, maybe we should let it go and focus on the border. You're not even focused on the border, dude. Shut up. You're not doing anything. You stayed on this thing. Yeah, the border's important. The point is you're not doing anything about that either. So we might as well enact a political price upon the guy who opened the border. That's how real tacticians work, not a bunch of chumps. I got more audio coming up. This Biden guy, Ian Sams. This guy's such a dork. He goes on CNN, right? You see, he's such a loser. He goes on CNN, and even on, you know it's bad when CNN's giving you the middle finger. CNN's like, hey, dude, like the evidence against your boss here, Papa Joe, with the corruption is really getting ugly at this point. Like, you guys ever going to tell the truth? Ian Sam's like, I did not have Joe Biden did not have business. I don't even know what I'm saying. These guys are hilarious. And, of course, Karine Jean-Pierre chimed in, too. I got a lot more audio coming up. We'll be right back.
Bongino.
Folks, you can't handle the truth. Yes, you can. The truth is the clowns running this joint live for the chaos. Many of our problems could be solved overnight, but they let them fester. Destruction fuels them. If you can handle the truth, visit MyPatriotSupply.com. You'll get $60 off a much-needed 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. I have one. I have multiples for every member of my family. It's the country's largest preparedness company. My Patriot Supply is your fighting chance at survival. Sealed inside rugged packaging, these delicious meals last up to 25 years and provide over 2,000 calories daily. Eat right in emergencies with this 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. At this low price, you can get one for everyone in your family. Here's the website. Go today. MyPatriotSupply.com. If you order by 3 p.m., you get free same-day shipping. Prepare right now at MyPatriotSupply.com. Prepare at MyPatriotSupply.com before total chaos ensues.
Dan Bongino.
This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, and opinion from the voices you know and trust. News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and NewstalkSTL.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hi, Sean Long with STL FenceWorks. Our company realized another extraordinary year of great business. I thank God for engineering our success and for this great nation and all the blessings it offers those who persevere and work hard. Second, I want to personally thank the great customers who put their faith in our company to make their home and backyard dreams a vision fulfilled. STL FenceWorks doesn't exist without you, and I'm humbled and grateful for your patronage. I also want to thank all my great employees. You're the backbone of STL FenceWorks. You make my vision a reality. I'm truly honored to work amongst such fine people. Finally, as the year ends, I want to remind everyone to take time to enjoy the season. Embrace your family and friends, count the blessings in your life. Reflect on the important things, and don't forget the true meaning of Christmas. When a baby was born, Jesus, our Savior. On behalf of everyone at STL Fenceworks, have a very Merry Christmas and a blessed and prosperous New Year.
Hi, I'm Kimberly with John David Jewelers. We specialize in creating full custom jewelry, from carving waxes, setting stones, and full jewelry repair. If you can dream it, we can make it. All work is done on site, and everything we produce is American made. Plus, we are collecting toys for Tots. Find us in Frontenac or online at johndjewelers.com. We are in the business of making you look good.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
The good, the bad, the ugly of the National Defense Authorization Act. We'll break it all down for you.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
America, land of the free, home of the Dan Bongino Show.
So Monday, yes, Monday will be the Christmas music day. I know some of you have asked some questions like, hey, man, when does the Christmas music start? I think a week out. Listen, it's an executive decision I made because the show is eponymously named. So I made the call. I just think the Christmas music season goes on a little too long. And I don't know about you, but my humble opinion, folks, if you agree, disagree, maybe it's another Pantera incident, but I'm being honest about it. I think it dilutes the effect of Christmas to have it go on from like Thanksgiving on, right? Like Thanksgiving's a great hot. You go, you eat, you have fun. You don't like think about it for a month, you know? So I don't know. Like the Christmas music we'll do some on Monday, but I don't like playing it 3 weeks out. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. Baby Jesus coming to us, saving the world. Like, this is great, man. Saved everything. Love it. Go to church. I love Jesus Christ. I say that loudly and proudly. Love you, Jesus. I can't say that enough. I tell my daughter every night before she goes to bed, say your prayers. Jesus loves you. So does Dad. I say Jesus first. But I just want, the holiday's supposed to mean something. And I think it gets diluted when we play like, if I hear that song one more time, I may not be back on Monday. Like, I'm not sure I'm going to make it. I can't hear it. I can't hear it anymore. It's not a bad song. I'm not a Scrooge. No, don't even say it. I love Christmas. I just said that. I can't hear Mariah Carey's Christmas. I just can't hear it. The song's got like 42 trillion downloads in Spotify or whatever the hell they call streams. I can't hear it. We'll hear next week. We'll do it next week. Other hosts have made different decisions. Much respect. And they're more talented hosts than me. I'm not the most. Jim Domi Levin, who's Jewish. He's playing Christmas. It's just fine. Levin, they call him the great one. They call me the great one. Maybe he knows some I don't know. I'm going to text him during the break. Maybe he knows some I don't know. Maybe he does. They don't call me the great one. They call him the great one. They didn't even call me the good one. They call me the crazy one. I'm only half kidding. Maybe. Diversify your savings with physical precious metals while stockpiling silver in your home safe. It's Birch Gold Group's most popular special of the year now through December 22nd. For every $5,000 you spend with Birch Gold, they'll send you a 1-ounce silver eagle coin for free. Text Bongino to 989898 and claim your eligibility now. You can purchase gold and silver and have it shipped directly to your home, or have Birch Gold's precious metals specialists help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold for no money out of pocket. They'll send you free silver for every $5,000 you purchase. You can keep it for yourself or give something with real value as a stocking stuffer this year. Just text the keyword Bongino to 989898 to claim your eligibility with an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers, me included. Now's the best time to buy gold from Birch Gold. Text Bongino to 989898. Claim your eligibility for free silver on qualifying purchases before December 22nd. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision. Message and data rates apply.
Dan Bongino.
I think I am. Justin says, intern Justin's here. He's just like, I don't know what he's doing, like me mooning someone videos or something. He's like playing Dungeons and Dragons with Guy or something. Who the hell? I don't know what I'm paying these guys for. I have no idea. They're playing like Flesh and Blood, doing videos, watching Star Wars. It's like they apply for the job. Bongino.com. We're taking applications today. It's the greatest job ever. And by the way, thank you, Chatsters here. Everyone agree, even my P1s. Tim V, you know who you are. These are like my rock stars. Eric, who's our Pantera recognizer. Robin, they agree. Give it a week of Christmas music. It's going to mean something. We don't need 3 weeks of it. And we're going to play some good stuff, like good Christmas music. I'm not, no Mariah Carey. So I just don't, she's great. I'm nothing against her. I can't hear that song anymore. I just can't hear it. Justin, you have any suggestions since you chimed in? What do you like? Tenatonics? I don't even know what that is. But maybe okay, I'm probably starting another Pantera incident, but I don't care. I have no idea what that is. But does Morgan Wallen have a Christmas album? Can we look into that? Is there a Christmas album there yet? No? Does Riley Green have one? Because that would be really cool. I would totally be down with that. All right, back to the show. Jim's like, no, you got 20 seconds left. It's all right. I can fit a lot in 20 seconds. I got audio coming up for you next, proving my Joe Biden Grease Blue Moon theory. I'm going to prove it to you. I have the actual receipts to back it up. No, not pictures of their butts, but audio.
Are you a natural leader driven by the desire to make a lasting impact? Is your deepest calling to be an elected official, making a real difference? Now, picture yourself with the power to shape the future in St. Louis City. St. Louis needs your leadership now more than ever. The urgency is real. The Republican Party, City of St. Louis can help you file, be your guiding force, and support you during the campaign. Contact stlouisrepublicans.com and step into your destiny.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Facts don't matter. Lies don't matter. You or I lie, we go to jail. She lies.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
It's just part of the business. President lies. It's part of his business. Joe Biden couldn't tell the truth if he could remember it. And then you got Hunter Biden, because he's a drug addict, because he's a gun criminal, because, posts pictures of himself with hookers and crack pipes and all that kind of stuff. Now that makes him somehow wonderful.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on NewstalkSTL.
Getting a new floor for your home can be intimidating and a little scary. But that's not the case when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Katie here, and my mom and dad used Michael's, and they had a great experience. They've been a locally owned and operated family business for more than 30 years. You want variety? Michael's has carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, natural stone, and many other options. Shop in-store at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Dardine Prairie, or St. Peters. Check out everything that Michael's has to offer at igotfloored.com.
Southern Armory, your hometown gun store. Come and be more than just a customer. Southern Armory, we carry the best guns, holsters, knives, magazines, ammunition, and even food storage. Special orders are welcome. Southern Armory, 1 mile east of 270 and 44, 9901 Watson Road, and SouthernArmory.com. That's SouthernArmory.com.
Whether you're purchasing your first firearm or adding to your collection at Southern Armory, you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. Follow Southern Armory on Facebook or at Southern Armory.
KLTY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. House Speaker Mike Johnson says meddling in Israel's war policies by the Biden administration is only serving to embolden Hamas terrorists. In an interview on Jerusalem news site allisrael.com, Johnson charges that National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan's call for Israel to lower the intensity of fighting is ill-advised.
They are not rooted in reality. We need to stand with Israel, allow them to develop their strategy and stop trying to micromanage this. Instead of inserting their opinions from this White House, who have done nothing but project weakness on the world stage and have, I believe, created the environment, the circumstances for all of this to happen, all this aggression by our adversaries around the world.
The House Speaker adds that President Biden's suggestion early this week that Israel needs to be careful in executing airstrikes in Gaza because civilians are being killed was also ill-advised. Also at townhall.com, the Republican-led House approves a resolution this week demanding the resignation of the presidents of 2 of the most prestigious universities in America, MIT and Harvard.
The demand came in the wake of a hearing where lawmakers grilled the presidents of MIT, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, and NYU over anti-Semitism in their respective campuses. Students from some of those institutions joined Republican lawmakers to share their gut-wrenching experiences with anti-Semitism. The students accused the university presidents of doing nothing to combat the problem. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, the Republican from New York, one of the co-sponsors of the resolution, described the passage of the measure as a, quote, historic bipartisan effort. Edwin Mora, Washington.
And on Wall Street, the Dow is ahead 16 points, but the S&P 500 is 6 points in the red. More at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group, because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
So I sent out an invitation to a Christmas party, but no Asians are allowed to be there. Whoa. That would be wrong, wouldn't it? Yes. Well, in Boston, Mayor Michelle Wu, a Democrat, a Taiwanese ancestry, under fire because one of her aides issued an invite for the mayor's No Whites Christmas party. Well, that caused some interruptions right away. So immediately the aide sent out word, I want to apologize for the previous email regarding a holiday party. I did send it to everyone by accident. I apologize if the email may have offended or came across so. So sorry for the confusion. New York Post pointing out Boston City Council has 6 minority, 7 white members. Now, Councilor Brian Worrell, a black Democrat, defended the No Whites invite. He said, we make space and spaces for all kinds of people. Why don't you make an inclusive space for everyone, like a Christmas party? And one counselor said, I could care less. It said, I don't really get offended too easily, but we shouldn't do things like being divisive, especially at Christmas. The birth of Jesus is about bringing us all together. Jesus more dark than white.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL. This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
I'm always glad to have new sponsors, but I have turned some down. See, I only endorse clients if I believe in them. And I've been a spokesman for John Beal for 10 years. Through those years, listeners said they went with John Beal because they trusted me. And just recently, a woman named Mary wrote, we got a John Beal roof based on your recommendation. Thank you, Mary, and all the others for calling John Beal. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you, why pay more than 4? In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many market's ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Lit Cigar wins Best Smoking Lounge and Best Smoke Shop in the Riverfront Times Best of St. Louis listing for 2023. That is 2 years back-to-back. Lit Cigar Lounge and its new space in the district just off Highway 40 in Chesterfield. Lit is for men and women who enjoy great cigars, premium drinks. The website keeps you on top of special events, including live entertainment. LitSTL.com. LitSTL.com.
No big old corporate lib AM station telling us what to say here. Conservative talk for St. Louis. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com. This hour of the Dan Bongino Show brought to you by STL Fenceworks, celebrating 50 years of industry-leading service for fence, deck, and leisure space solutions. Visit stlfenceworks.com.
About his business dealings with his son because he can, and he thinks it's funny. No one else would be able to get away with this. I mean, have you ever thought to yourself, I get into it with this, I did this interview, as I said in the opening of the show, with Tucker last night for my podcast, and we'll play some snippets of it on the radio next week. It'll air Monday and Tuesday in full on the podcast channel on Rumble if you want to check it out. But we get into this at one point, this hypocrisy versus hierarchy thing we talk about all the time. Like, you don't see it the way the left does. The left genuinely doesn't care that you would never be able to get away with this. I mean, you understand the payments that came into the Biden family. You understand, obviously, because you're a smarter crowd than the liberal morons that sometimes listen to the show and send me all their nasty comments. It wasn't thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. It was millions of dollars shuttled through these various Biden-associated and affiliated businesses. According to Hunter Biden himself, who said in his own words yesterday about how terrible he was with his finances, they barely paid taxes on any of this. I mean, how do you really believe you would get away with that? What are you, crazy? You would be thrown in jail instantly. You would instantly be thrown in jail. But they don't care because it's hierarchy. When you're a collectivist jerkwad who believes in centralized power, what do you care about? Oh, I look like a hypocrite. I gave this example once, and Gorka listens to the show, Sebastian, my buddy, and he seemed to like it. Hold on, I always turn this fan off and it gets hot. I said, the communists that took over in Cuba, led by revolutionary Che Guevara, who turned out to be a standard terrorist like everyone else. When they put people up against La Pared, the wall, and shot them, do you really think the parents of the dead who were like, hey, that sounds hypocritical. You guys are living the high life with your steaks and stuff while claiming you're socialists. You think they cared that it looked hypocritical? Reminds me of that line from 7 Days in Entebbe. Do we have that, Jim? Excuse me, I'm swallowed some coffee. That's, it's the coffee hour for me.
One plumber
There's this
is worth
line.
10 revolutionaries.
Yeah. Wait, play it again.
One plumber is worth 10 revolutionaries.
That's one of the greatest scenes in a movie you will ever see about bull revolutionaries, BS revolutionaries. These kids with college campuses walking around with Che Guevara shirts on. Do you have any idea who these guys are? They were murderers. They were thugs. They were cheap thieves and losers who were eloquent when they spoke, and that was it. But one plumber, they're seen in the movie, it's a true story of the Entebbe hijacking when they took the plane to Entebbe. And the pilot of the plane, he was a plumber too. So they put him up in this hangar, all these hostages. And they're holding the pilot at gunpoint, and the toilet bowl backs up. So the pilot's fixing it. And he's looking up at this scumbag revolutionary air quotes, just took all these people hostage. And he looks up at him, and he's like, one plumber is worth, 10 revolutionaries. Like, you guys are just losers and morons.
Running water makes you free. Toilet makes you free. One plumber is worth 10 revolutionaries.
The revolutionary's mocking the pilot because he knows how to fix the toilet. What does this loser know what to do? Nothing. He's holding a guy at gunpoint because he read the Marx Engels Reader. My point is these people don't care. Biden does not care. Him and his team are from the Obama mold. They are straight up revolutionaries. They don't give a damn about what you think. Not a little bit. What is this? Oh, sorry. Someone's texting me. Play, if you would, Jim. Cut 4. I want you to listen to this. I always bring the receipts on this show, man. I don't waste your time with stuff. We're combating something very difficult to fight right now. You're not fighting for the truth. No, we are, Dan. Biden's corrupt. Everybody knows that, folks. Biden's at 33% approval. We're fighting a perversive hierarchical ideology that doesn't care, has no attachment to the truth at all. You're not debating them. So why are we talking about this? You're debating the third party listening. I need you to understand that. You will never get through to the modern, progressive, secular, collectivist liberal. They care about power only, and they don't give a damn about what Joe Biden did or didn't do or how much he sold himself out in the White House and in the Senate. They don't care. So what's the point? The point is there's always a third party listening. I learned this running for office. It was one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned. I was debating a guy at the Maryland State County Fair up in Baltimore, Balmer, as they call it up there. And I'm debating this lady on school choice who's an obvious communist. She doesn't care about school choice. She doesn't give a damn about school choice at all. But I'm like going around. After 10 minutes with this crazy lunatic lady, I go back to the booth where I was handing out literature, palm cards and stuff. Hey, vote for Dan Bongino, whatever. And I remember saying to one of my volunteers, I think this lady Dana was there with me, or Maria. And I said, what a waste of time that was. And 5 minutes later, a guy comes over and he says, listen, man, I don't know who you are, but I listened to that whole thing. I promise you this happened. It's not like a liberal story. Liberals always make stuff up. My son was at Starbucks and a guy came in and said, Trump's a Nazi. That didn't happen. These stories actually happened. The guy comes up, he goes, hey, I listened to that whole debate. He goes, I got to tell you, I'm kind of agnostic on the issue, but he goes, I thought you made good points. So you didn't lose your cool about the whole school choice thing. And I thought, that's it. We're not debating the libs. They're freaking crazy lunatics. You're debating the third person listening. That's what you're doing. That's why we play this. So to the third person listening, not to the liberal, because I get that there's nothing I'm going to say to you to prove that the oatmeal god in the White House is the most corrupt person to ever plant his ass in that seat at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. I get that. You're beyond help. I understand. I get it. Yo comprendo, amigo. Hablo español un poquito. Okay? No, I do. I understand good. Hablo un poquito. I want you to listen to Ian Sams. Who's Ian Sams? Another one of these losers in the White House. He's a PR guy, is basically what he is. He's on CNN. This isn't a Fox News segment. And even CNN's kind of had enough of this. Why? Because they're doing journalism? No. Because Biden's at 33% approval. Lefties realize Biden can't possibly win re-election with these numbers, and they want him out. CNN's doing the Democrat Party a favor. They're not doing the truth a favor. But even they've had enough of this. I want you to listen to this and listen to this guy at the end. He just glosses right over the question like nothing happened. Because why aren't they going to tell the truth about Biden's corruption? Because they don't have to. They think it's funny and they don't care. Take a listen.
The president was not in business with his son, period. They're trying to make up all sorts of allegations and make up lies.
With respect, I'm not citing Jim Jordan here. I was in some of the White House press briefings where it was said explicitly the president did not talk to his son about business dealing. That is very clearly not the case, and I think the statement from the White House has changed and I think been a little bit more precise over the course of the last several months. It's what the president said on the campaign trail as well. I'm not saying this is like an impeachable offense or some grand indictment, but it is a fact that the president said one thing that ended up being not true.
Again, I dispute that's true. That is not true. The truth is that he wasn't in business with his son. The Republicans have been for years trying to make arguments.
Again, I'm not saying that he was in business with his son.
And over again, those have been refuted.
You see what I'm talking about? Why? What's the point? You have to keep hammering away not to get through to this knucklehead, Ian Sandwich, or whatever the hell his name is. It doesn't matter. Ian Sandwich doesn't care. He's a PR flack. His job is to go out there on CNN, MSNBC, or any other dork television the liberals watch and just say, other kids did it. Yeah, but we have a check to Joe Biden, like actually to Joe Biden, for $40,000, which is 10% of a check from China for $400,000 when the business partner said we kept 10% behind for the big guy. Other kids did it, bro. That was other kids.
You're looking for.
Jim, that was beautiful. Perfect. Where's Guy? Guy, you'd be very proud. Jim, Guy's here from the podcast. If you don't watch the podcast, Guy is obsessed with Star Wars. He still thinks Rogue One was a good movie. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I don't care what. But He just did a Star Wars drop. He did the Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you're looking for. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's Obi-Wan. I prefer Ben. Obi-Wan was a little complicated name for me when I was a kid. Ben, there's the Benster right there. He's like, these ain't the droids you're looking for. And the CNN guys goes, no, the droids are actually right here. Here's the catch. The Jedi mind trick doesn't actually work. You don't like that scene? These are not the droids you're looking for. And the guy thinks about it for a second, the stormtrooper. Remember, Jim? It's your drop. You better know. And what does he say? He's like, these aren't the droids we're looking for. In this case, the stormtrooper's like, why'd you just say that, moron? These are obviously the droids we're looking for. That's what happened in the Joe Biden movie. Yeah, Guy just, see? Guy has to inject some Star Wars knowledge, but he's right. The Jedi mind trick only works on the stupid and the weak-minded. That's a good point, Guy. And you in the audience, you're like, yeah, of course those are the droids we're looking for. Like, why is he saying that? What does he think, we're morons? This is Biden. It only works on the stupid. Here, Jim, Karine Jean-Pierre, Cloud 5. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre. Again, easily. I mean, it's not even close. Jim, are you changing your vote at all, Mike? I mean, worst press secretary easily in the history of the United States. How they keep this woman around is the worst personnel decision in the history of any organized corporation or government anywhere. There's never been someone less suited for a job than this woman. I mean, you're never going to find anyone who, it's like, you know when you go for a job and they ask you for KSAs? Your mic's open there. Knowledge, skills, and abilities. Karine Jean-Pierre had like negative knowledge, skills, and abilities. Like everything they asked her, she asked the wrong question. She answers, the woman has no attributes for this position whatsoever. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre, asked the exact same question. And again, it's the Jedi mind trick back. No, that was like other kids. These aren't the droids we're looking for. And everybody in the press room is like, okay, whatevs, man. Here, check this out.
There's no evidence. But there's no evidence. There is no evidence that the president has done wrongdoing. There's none. Absolutely none. None. And that is just a fact. You've heard it from Republicans themselves. So they're wasting their time. Instead of doing the work on behalf of the American people, they go after the president's family. That's a waste of time.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Wait, Obi-Wan was in the... How did you do that? I didn't know he was there. That's so weird. I didn't hear that at the end. Now he's getting crazy. Now he's trying to impress Guy. Jim and Guy are working behind my back with Star Wars stuff now. They're all, folks, it's an inside story. They're all mad at me because they all love Rogue One. I love Star Wars. It wasn't good. I'm sorry. It's not good. It's not good. Empire Strikes Back. That was it. That was the best movie. That was it. That's the best movie. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any arguments. This is not open for debate. I'm sorry. I'm not a monarch here. This is the Bongino Army. I am just a member. I am not the general here. This is a constitutional republic show. We all have equal representation. I'll make an executive call. I'm issuing an executive order. Empire Strikes Back. Rogue One was not good. I'm sorry. I didn't know Ben was in the... But he's right. These are not the droids you... No, they are. No, those are they actually look like them. Is that R2D? Looks like... That's exactly the droid I'm looking for. This is why you read the New York Post yesterday, Biden's approval ratings at 33%, lowest since he took office. Stop saying we're not doing anything. I don't mean to sound like a jerk. I love you all. You're my homies and everything. Like, I love you guys. When I see you out there, and I'm part of something special here. I'm a big part. I got the microphone, but I'm just a part of it. There's Mark, there's Tucker, Sean, others out there too. But I mean it when I say this. Stop saying like we're not, nothing's happening. It is happening. Every day you are dropping this guy's approval lower and lower and lower, which is making him more and more desperate. Stop saying it's not doing anything. He was at 37% approval just a month ago. He's at 33 now. No one even thought he could go any lower. You did that. You did that. No time to take a victory lap, but it's not time to be down either. It's time to hit the gas pedal, even if you don't drive stick. Hit that gas pedal. All right, I got to take a break. As always, way over. Totally disrespecting the time clock, which is just a disgrace. We'll be right back.
Bongino.
Christmas will be here before you know it if you're looking for a really special gift this year. I encourage you to check out the firearms made right here in America by our friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Order a free holiday gift guide at henryusa.com and get free decals you can use for stocking stuffers. Folks, when you give someone a Henry rifle or shotgun, I have many of these, you're giving them a work of art built with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen. They are rugged. I've thrown mine in the back of trucks. This thing takes a beating. Their performance is top-notch. Mine were accurate right out of the box, smooth and straight. They've been reliable ever since. With over 200 models of rifles, shotguns, and revolvers to choose from, there's something for everyone at Henry Repeating Arms. Folks, just get the catalog. They have rifles and shotguns for outdoorsmen, hunters, beginners, collectors, specialty editions. You're looking for home and land defense options. These are rugged family heirlooms that can be passed down to future generations, backed by a lifetime warranty. Put something made in America. It's rugged under the tree this Christmas. Go to henryusa.com and get your free gift guide and decals today. It's free. Just go to the website, henryusa.com. Get a free gift guide and decals. You're going to love this company.
Dan Bongino.
With so much happening.
I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.
So much to talk about.
Our education secretary flubbing one of Ronald Reagan's iconic lines.
9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
You never want to miss a moment.
There's nothing about this that shows anything good about Hamas.
On air, online, and always on your smart device.
The vast majority of those that were taken captive on that day are still there.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Hey, Columbo here with a great holiday offer from the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Just mention the Columbo special when you book a cleaning in the month of December, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $50 off your air duct cleaning. We trust Zero Res because they are simply the best when it comes to cleaning any surface in your home. And just remember to mention the Columbo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
When you help create a Make-A-Wish experience for children with critical illnesses, you create a turning point in their treatment and recovery. And suddenly, the joy of childhood that they've lost is within reach. Right now, there are over 600 children in our region alone who are waiting for their heartfelt wish to come true. Give the gift of hope and joy this season by texting the word WISH to 243725. That's WISH, 243725.
The team that brought conservative talk radio to St. Louis is back. This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, and opinion from the voices you know and trust. Mike Ferguson, Tim Jones, Dan Bongino, Tony Colombo, Vic Porcelli, Katie Fitzpatrick, Chris Arce, Ken Williams, Larry Connors, Gabe Pfeiffer, Joe Pags, Randy Tobler, Ben Shapiro. Talk radio made in St. Louis for St. Louis. 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
A wise philosopher once said, do or do not. There is no try. The Dan Bongino Show.
You really. I want you to know, folks, Jim is sabotaging the show. Mike, please get rid of this guy immediately. He's sabotaging the show. He's trying to start another Pantera incident. It's not there. You can't make fetch happen. I just don't like Rogue One. Now, Jim B. and Maria both disagree. They're like, you're crazy. I've never disagreed with you before, but Rogue One was a great movie. I don't agree. I didn't like it. It's not terrible. I just didn't like it. Empire Strikes Back. You understand he's trying to start another incident. Westwood, you better get rid of this. He's trying to cost me my audience now. With Guy, they're working to sabotage the show. By the way, it's nothing close to the Pantera incident. I got like 500 emails after. I got like 10. But Maria and Jim B are very mad at me. Jim B said only Democrats don't like Roe. Hey, I got a lot more, including the craziest thing I've ever heard on MSNBC. You know, Trump's going to shut the internet down with the Doomsday Book. Did you hear that, Jim? The Doomsday Book. I kid, of course. Jim's he just likes Rogue One. There's a big scandal on the show. You have no idea. Wrap up your loved ones in comfort and style like a hug from a baby polar bear that lasts all year long. You know what that is? That's Tommy John. When you give Tommy John, your loved ones are that much more comfortable, so they can do everything better. This softness season, why not give the gift of comfort to everyone on your list, including yourself, with new Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas? With over 20 million pairs sold, a lot to me, and thousands of five-star reviews giving Tommy John's a holiday tradition. 97% of men and women love the gift of Tommy John. That's why they don't have customers, Tommy John. They have fanatics. Here's one fanatic raving Christmas gift that went so right she loves the pajamas. Give the gift of comfort and softness for the colder months, and why not treat yourself? Everything's covered by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear. It's free guarantee. Jim, we're doing the test. What are we rocking today? Can you vouch with the audience, please? Turn your mic on. It's important. I got the grays and the blues on. Is they not there?
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yes.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to throw the N4. We get it. We all get it. Shop TommyJohn.com/Bongino right now and get 30% off site-wide. Order now so your gifts arrive before the holidays. 30% off site-wide for a limited time. TommyJohn.com/Bongino. TommyJohn.com/Bongino. Visit TommyJohn.com for details.
Dan Bongino.
I know you're a little jealous of it, TJ. Why don't you tell Teresa, send some Tommy Johns your way? They're awesome. You trust me. Thank me later. It's date night today. Jim's like, wait. We'll do the unfiltered unplugged show sometime. Be fun. What? What's the problem? I'm just telling you the truth. Friday night. You know I'm always in a good mood on Friday. Plus, it's Morgan Wallen Friday still. During the break, I'll be listening to some Morgan Wallen. No, yes, this was an actual segment on MSNBC yesterday. Miles Taylor, who I thought was Miles Teller. I thought it was Rooster from Top Gun. I didn't even know. I was like, what the hell is Miles Teller doing on? I'm like, no, Taylor. I'm like, oh, really? Said Trump's going to shut the internet down if he's reelected. I'm like, really? Wow, I better save my files now.
Hi, it's Larry Elder, and I want to tell you about a man named George who wrote in about his experience with 100% drug-free Relief Factor. George drives a garbage truck in Oregon. That's 10 hours a day of limited movement. And guess what that does to a bad knee? It's not good. After a while, George could barely move at the end of his shift, and he wasn't really sure what he was going to do. That's when Relief Factor came into his life. George is still out there working hard every day, but now he does it without pain. Hundreds of thousands of people have tried Relief Factor, and about 70% of them go on to order more. If you're living with pain in your life, it's time to do something about it and give Relief Factor a try. I'm telling you, it can really change your life for the better. Your first step to becoming pain-free just might be to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com, that's ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF. Feel the difference.
Dan Bongino.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has discussed with Israeli officials the volatile situation along the Lebanon-Israel border. He added that a negotiated outcome is the best way to reassure residents of northern Israel. The terrorist group in Lebanon, Hezbollah, has been attacking Israeli military posts along the border since the day after the Israel-Hamas war began. The Republican-led House approves a resolution this week demanding the resignation of the presidents of two of the most prestigious universities in America, MIT and Harvard. The demand came in the wake of a hearing where lawmakers grilled university presidents over anti-Semitism at their respective campuses. On Wall Street, the Dow is ahead 21 points, but the S&P is down 1 point. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
The latest in the Trump lawfare saga with Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation at 425. What should the Missouri legislature's priorities be in 2024? Patrick Ishmael, Show Me Institute, 525.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote and accelerate the development of quality Christ-centered K-12 education.
Hi, this is Daryl Jones, president of the Herzog Foundation. We have an exciting new training opportunity available for public school and Christian school teachers. The Herzog Foundation Institute has partnered with the Bill of Rights Institute to offer 4 training events in 4 Missouri cities this year. These day-long professional development opportunities are best suited for middle and high school civics, government, U.S. history, and social studies teachers. Middle and high school teachers have a unique opportunity to strengthen civic knowledge and values for the next generation. We want to help teachers seize this opportunity.
Visit herzogfoundation.com/events to learn more and register for a Bill of Rights Institute training event near you. herzogfoundation.com/events. herzogfoundation.com/events.
You want to give a unique gift this holiday? I suggest Stolac Whiskey, produced in Missouri. Stolac Whiskey, born of natural limestone filtered water from the Ozark Highlands, aged in Missouri oak. Stolac, so smooth. Trust me, you're going to enjoy it. So next time, ask for Stolac. Visit the website, stolac.com. Stolac, Stowloch, from Stone Ledge Distillery.
News, analysis, opinion.
We're really not enforcing our laws upon anybody.
That matters to St. Louis.
We will bring them to justice, and we will reach every Hamas terrorist who's responsible.
101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL. This hour of the Dan Bongino Show brought to you by STL FenceWorks, celebrating 50 years of industry-leading service for fence, deck, and leisure space solutions. Visit STLFenceWorks.com.
Heard. Call 844-4-the-USA now to let Dan know what you think. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
All right, you know the rule, right? The rule, it's kind of a general rule to enhance your social IQ and make your interactions with people a little more pleasant. I'm just going to give you a little one of these kind of social IQ tips. When you're out with people, if you're around someone who's citing their education all the time, they're probably a moron. They're probably not that bright, and they're using it as a defense mechanism. I've got a master's degree in classical literature. Well, okay, great. Like, why'd you have to tell me that? If it's appropriate for a conversation, fine. I mean, if I'm asking you for an analysis of Dante's Inferno, then yeah, okay. You say, well, I got a degree in classical literature. Okay, good. You may be appropriate. But if someone's citing their education to you, they're probably a moron. I say that because I have to for a second. So, and I'm asking for, again, I do this once in a while because I know you sound like a jerk when you say it. But when I was in school studying this stuff, and I'll just leave it at that, because the more you talk about it, the dumber you sound. They have these various defense mechanisms people engage in all the time. People have these, it's very hard for a human being to acknowledge their own faults and failures. It just is. So we put up these walls, and we have these various what's called defense mechanisms. You don't have to be a psychology graduate student to know that. But one of them is projection, where because you're so uncomfortable with what you're doing, you project those attributes onto someone else. It's almost like you carve it out of you and you plant it in someone else. You go, look, there it is. It reminds me of the Robert De Niro Awful Frankenstein movie. There's the cholera. Like, that's what they do. If I've ever seen a clip in my life of the Democrats, I jokingly call it the dipsy-do flipperoo theory. It's obviously a joke. It's meant to impart some humor on it. But whatever the Democrats are accusing you of doing, they're doing themselves. Perfect example, totally unintended. I didn't discuss it in the podcast today, but I'll bring it up here. Jim, did you see the story of this Charles McGonigal FBI guy convicted today or sentenced today? He's this FBI guy who was working the Trump-Russia case, who was, I hate the word literally. I hate it. But he was literally just convicted of working with the Russians while working a case for Donald Trump. You can look the name up if you think I'm making this up, Libby's. Charles McGonigal. He was if this isn't the dipsy-do flipperoo theory, I've never seen it. It happens all the time. Whatever the Democrats accuse you of doing, they're doing. Think about the Trump impeachment for Ukraine. What did they impeach him for? You remember? It was a quid pro quo. He asked the Ukrainians for something, information in exchange for weapons. There was no such deal. Trump released the transcript. The quid pro quo was Hunter Biden getting hired by the Ukrainians in exchange for favors from the father, i.e., a quid pro quo, something for something. They always accuse you of exactly what they're doing. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you a little pointer. Once you know this little dipsy-do flipperoo thing they do, otherwise known as projection, if you want to sound more academic. I personally don't care about that stuff. Like I said, the more you try to sound academic, the more of a moron you typically sound like anyway. Just talk like a normal person. If you ever want to know what the next step the Democrats are going to make, just watch what they're accusing you of, because that's going to be where they fall next. So if someone were to come out, say, I'll just give you an example, next week, I'll make something up. Eric Trump colluded with the Saudis, like whatever. I'm just totally pulling that out of the air. I can guarantee you that Hunter Biden had some deal with the Saudis, and they're trying, right, Jim? That's what's going to happen. Because they know the media will run with the fake Trump story and ignore the Hunter Biden. There's a reason they do it. There's a tactical reason. Because they know the media are useful idiots, and they'll run with it. This is a perfect example of this. Jim, cue up for me, cut 6. So Miles Taylor, who I don't know who this guy is. He claims he was like some big shot DHS guy. Folks, I worked under DHS. I keep contact with a lot of higher ups. I knew a lot of people in the Trump administration. I've never heard of this guy. He keeps touting himself like he was some bigwig. I thought it was Rooster from Top Gun, or the Fantastic Four guy. No, Taylor, not Teller. Oh, it's not the actor? I had to ask this morning. I'm like, Miles Teller worked in the Trump. That's crazy. What, do you get into acting after that? That's so nuts. Like, was his dad Goose? Was that real? Like, Goose? This is Miles Taylor. Nobody knows who this guy is. But apparently, this guy who, by the way, almost no one in the Trump administration knows who this guy is. They know he worked there. But apparently, he was such a higher up, according to himself, that no one seems to know him. It's incredible. I worked in the Secret Service. I can name every director since I was there. I mean, it's not hard. We had Mark Sullivan. We had Brian Stafford, Lou Merletti. Like, it wasn't hard. Everybody knew who they were. Who the hell is this guy? Is this Rooster? So Rooster's on MSNBC yesterday. This supposed higher up in the Trump administration, who I think wrote some book or something like that. Nobody knows who this guy is. But he has knowledge, folks, of the Doomsday Book. Don't laugh. I'm not making this is real. You're going to hear it yourself. It's not a joke. This is not Jim's dark web stuff. This is real. He goes on MSNBC in the worst case of projection I've ever seen. And he's all, I love the fake drama. It's so pathetic. They're such wannabes. They are. They're such, I call them high school Harrys. These guys who like never did anything in their lives and they're always telling stories about in high school. Let me tell you something. In high school, I threw a football 300 yards. We get it, Uncle Rico. We get it. Sure you did. That's this guy. And they have to be dramatic because their lives are so worthless. They have to fake it. Like, let me tell you something. Listen, I'm going to play this clip for you, but I got to tee this up because it's hilarious. So Rooster goes on MSNBC and he's like, DHS has finally given me permission to talk about this. Now, I'm watching this clip, and I've seen this guy before. I know who he is. You know, he's not Rooster, but we'll call him Rooster, right? And I'm actually interested. I'm listening. I'm like, DHS gave him, really? They gave you permission? Like, so he says DHS gave him permission to talk about it, and he's all dramatic. He's like, the Doomsday Book. What? I'm listening to this like as a guy who used to work for DHS and actually has familiarity with continuity of government plans. I'm like, there's a Doomsday Book? Because like, and I'm absolutely convinced. And by the way, if there's a Doomsday Book, the DHS just gave you, Rooster, permission to go on national television and talk about it. Now, to believe that no one in MSNBC, Jim, right, stopped him right there. Whoa, bro, Rooster, chill for a second. Get out of the F-16 or F-18, whatever. Take off the helmet. I know you were just in Top Gun and all. So there's a Doomsday Book that describes the end of the world, and DHS just gave you permission to out it on MSNBC. Nobody on MSNBC even thinks this is weird. They're like, oh, Doomsday Book, wow. So I'm like, now I'm like, when I hear that, I start laughing. I'm like, this is obviously going to be dumb, but let me hear what he's got to say. He said, there's a Doomsday Book, and Trump knows it. And he's going to shut the internet down. What? I said, Paula, save the files. Save the payroll now. Guy won't get paid. Guy's like, what? Guy's in the background right now. I don't work for free, brother. Save the files right now. They're going to Trump's going to shut the internet down with the Doomsday Book. All right. I teased that up too. This is an actual cut at MSNBC. I swear to you, this is not a joke. Check this out.
What will happen in a second term? The biggest concerns for me are on the national security side. I think Americans still don't understand the full extent of the president's powers and things Donald Trump could do, bubble wrapped in legalese, that would be damaging to the republic. And one of those that I've noted is there's something in the White House called the Doomsday Book. And for the first time, DHS gave authorization for me to mention this publicly. And the fact that there are concerns that that book, which is supposed to be used to protect the country in instances of armed foreign invasion or rebellion, it's the president's most extraordinary powers, could be picked up by Trump and used for domestic political purposes. He could invoke powers we've never heard a president of the United States invoke, potentially to shut down companies or turn off the internet or deploy the U.S. military on U.S. soil.
Jim, come on.
That mother back there
yes!
is not real.
I mean, really. I'm protecting Tiffany from you working her too hard. You can't, dude, thank you, Tiffany, for saving us there. Folks, I'm just asking you for a second. Do I ever come on here and buff talk you? Hey, let me tell you the time I got into a gunfight with 47 guys in the tri-border region of South America with the Delta Force. Do I do that? No, I don't do that, right? Why? Because if it happened, you don't need to know. And second, who gives a damn? You don't need to know. Who cares? You like the commentary. I don't need to be a tough guy because tough guys don't talk about being tough guys because they're tough. They don't need to talk about it. What the hell is this guy talking about? There's a Doomsday Book to shut down businesses and the internet? Folks, there's no Doomsday Book. This is nonsense. There are plans. He's using this dramatic language, again, to engage in this projection mechanism to make you believe Donald Trump is going to be a dictator, when in fact the guy he loves and adores, Joe Biden, is acting like a dictator right now. Do you hear what FCC just did to Elon and Starlink? I'm going to get to that. I got a lot of show left. The student loan illegal payments, the weaponization of government, the expansion in the NDAA of 702 to basically get hotels to, oh yeah, that's coming soon too. We got a big show left. What is this guy talking about? He's making this up. This guy went on the air. I want to see that. I want to see it. I want to see that. I want to see Miles Teller or Taylor, if Rooster or whatever the hell he calls himself. It's Miles Taylor. I kid. He's just such a dork, this guy. I want to see this guy produce evidence that the DHS, the actual Department of Homeland Security, gave him permission to speak about an end of the world book on MSNBC. I'd like to see it. I want to see, come on the show, Rooster, and just answer that. Show me the email. We'd love to hear, because then I want to know who at DHS gave you permission to do that. This story doesn't even make sense. But you understand that making sense doesn't matter to the left? I didn't do business with my son. That doesn't make sense. The left believes it. Donald Trump got peed on by hookers in Russia, and there's a tape nobody's ever seen. The story's moronic. Lefties are like, yeah, it makes sense to me. Because they're idiots. Because you're total dipwads. You're just really stupid. Listen, man, I worked at Fox and for a long time. I still got a lot of friends over there. I'm telling you now, if you went on the air and said something like that, you better back that up. You don't have to like them. Like I said, I get it. I got friends there. I don't, I ain't getting into all that stuff. I got my own thing, and they got theirs. I'm telling you right now, though, they had some editorial standards over there, contrary to what the left says. You go on the air and say something like that, you better back that up. There's a doomsday book, and they gave me, like, official permission to talk about it on the air. And by the way, Trump's going to shut the internet down. Has it ever occurred to Rooster, by the way, when he went on the air and said this, did it occur to him that Trump was already the president? So just to be clear, he already had the doomsday book. It's like he read this in Spider-Man versus Daredevil or something. Oh, look, the doomsday book. He read this in a comic and just went on the air that night. Trump was already president. So I don't understand. Jim, follow me here on this. So Trump was a dictator who was going to stay in power through a coup, and yet enacted none of the doomsday book powers, even though you said it was the worst coup since Pearl Harbor. But he's going to do it next time, after 4 years of not doing it last time, when you said he was a dictator last time. And liberals are like, yeah, it makes sense to me. Of course, you're a moron. That's why it makes sense to you. Right? A good point. Folks, your stupidity on the left is offensive to me. It's offensive. I just don't like stupid people. It offends me. I need better political enemies, and you're not it. You're that dumb. I have never done, I'm telling you right now, I've never done a debate on TV on Fox, Newsmax, or anywhere else. In the 10 years I was doing media hits on television and cable, where I've lost an argument to the left. I was one time I got caught, and I didn't know what I didn't know. There was one time debating Austin Goolsbee. He got me on Hannity on a Medicaid stipulation thing. He didn't really even get me. I lost that debate. I'm telling you. It's the only time in 10 years you ever will lose to a leftist. They are morons. They believe really stupid stuff. The doomsday book, Trump's going to shut down human. Rooster told you. Yeah, the doomsday book is next to the PP tape. Sitting right there. Idiots. Why are you guys so stupid? Are you always this dumb? You really believe this? They gave this guy permission to out the doomsday book on MSNBC. Yeah, okay, sure. Jim, can you invite him on, Rooster? Send him a message. We'd love to talk about the doomsday book. Who exactly? Tell me we want to talk about who exactly gave him permission. Say Dan was worked at DHS. We'd like names, please. Okay? Watch. Let's see if he comes on. All right, I got to take a break. More in this next. We'll be right back.
Bongino.
Folks, let's talk about AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. These are trying times. We all know that. Everything's expensive. But AMAC can help you and your family. You can save from 10 to 65% on cell phones and plans, health and wellness products, vision, dental, prescription drugs, travel and lodging, movie tickets, food and dining, and more. Go to amac.us/Dan. The savings will more than pay for your subscription. With prices on the rise everywhere, AMAC's a great group. They're your family's connection for financial survival. What's more, AMAC offers an advisory service for Social Security and Medicare designed to help you better understand these programs and answer any questions you may have. Join amac.us/Dan today. Stand in solidarity with me and over 2 million patriots by joining AMAC today at amac.us/Dan. That's amac.us/Dan. Join today at amac.us/Dan. Better for you, better for America.
Dan Bongino.
Columbo and Katie.
Jill Biden's White House Christmas video featuring tap dancers got mixed reviews. We'll talk to Gabe Pfeiffer and Ken Williams about this at 2:05 and get the weekend weather forecast with Steve Templeton.
Weekdays at 2 on NewstalkSTL.
Steph's Pizza is on the move to Lake St. Louis. That's right, you can now get the legendary Steph's Pizza and Pasta in Lake St. Louis, 111 Pond Fort Trail. Steph's Pizza, where Mondays you get a large pizza for the price of a small, and it just got more convenient for pickup or delivery.